Hi, everyone. Sorry about the delay. Welcome. We have Dean from the Hermit's Corner coming in to join us today. Just waiting on Kathy to come on, but I haven't heard back from her yet, so I don't know if she'll be joining us a little bit later or not. But if you want to introduce yourself a little bit, Dean.
Sure. I'm Dean. I have the Hermit's Corner. I do general readings on my show. I have Coffee Talk Live on Friday nights, and I host that with co-host that with my best friend. And I do inspirational, motivational readings and pickup talks to start the week on Sundays for Intuitive Vibes. I just recently started going live more and more frequently since I have the free time to do that now since I'm on vacation right now. But I'm always online doing shows on Fridays and Saturdays. Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays typically.
You jump on a lot during the week too to do personal readings.
I do. It's a hit or miss if I'm going to go on or not. It really is. Depends on how I feel. Depends on how drained I am from the work week.
Right, I hear you. All right, everyone. Well, welcome. Hello, Ron, Silver, Jalasia. You've Anna Banana, Stone Marble. Anna Banana. Tracy Ralph. Can't speak today. Yeah. Patty G, hello. All right, everyone. Hi, Trina, Debbie, Fitzsimmons.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry to keep everybody waiting. I was waiting to see if Kathy was going to jump on. I was chatting with Dean. And, of course, my husband just got home, so my dogs were a little rowdy, so.
Hey, Earth Mama.
Hi, Earth Mama. So I'm doing a little bit of changes with my channel, so I'm going to do a few announcements. I think for Tuesday's shows, I'm going to keep it strictly political, world events, spiritual questions. It's a little much with the personals mixed into it. And I've noticed a lot of my viewer counts have been a lot lower, I think because I'm mixing the personal with all of that. So I'm going to separate the two. I'm going to try to find a day to do some personals, and I'll probably try to do that at least once or twice a month. But that is my plan for right now. I'm getting closer and closer to that 1,000 subscriber count number. So once I hit that, I will be doing 2 free 30-minute readings. I'll be doing a raffle when I get to that. I'm excited about that. And so, like I said, we're going to probably be doing mostly political and spiritual questions, but I do have something to share. We are going to be doing, I had a ghost visitor join me today, and I don't have any residual ghosts in my house, but I was coming downstairs and putting some Christmas boxes away, and as I did, the door underneath my staircase that I used for storage was completely shut and opened as I was walking downstairs, so I was doing some investigating on that. Felt like it was an older man, and it's funny that I was telling Dean about it, and he picked up an old man before I even said anything. And it felt like a grandfather energy to me. I heard the name Ed, and so he said that he will make an appearance sometime in the show today. So he has a message for somebody in the chat. So yeah, it should be fun. It's a little interesting, a little, yes, ghost visitor. It startled me because I know that I don't have any ghostesses in my house, and so
ghostesses.
And so it was a little unnerving when I first came down here. I was like, "What is this?" But I got like, you know how when you're around a ghost, you just feel it. Like literally every hair on your arm just sticks up, and I don't know. You can definitely feel the energy shift. So.
For me, I notice I get like really clogged up in my sinuses when there's like
really?
Ghost. Yeah, it's like, why can't I not breathe very well right now? Who's in here?
Jalasia's calling Ghostbusters. All right.
As long as they're warm and sensual ghosts.
Right. It didn't feel like it wasn't a negative energy. It was just somebody that wants to give a message to somebody in the chat. So
Yeah.
I think I'm feeling more that the person that needs the message will be on probably like halfway through the stream. So we'll get back to that. But if anybody has a grandfather named Ed, he has a message for you. So you can write in the chat if that happens. So if anybody wants to submit some questions, you can write them all in caps and with like a heart emoji or something to catch my attention. I'm going to try to keep up with the chat today, so if I miss your question, just repost it. So I did have a couple questions submitted before. I will pull those up real quick. My first question is from Deb O, and she wants to know if Boris Johnson from the UK, the Prime Minister, is leaving anytime soon. She says he is so embarrassing. Have a look at his latest speech? Cringe. I haven't heard his latest speech, but we can definitely throw some cards and see what's going on.
What's his name?
Boris Johnson. He's a Prime Minister of Britain.
Horse.
UK. Boris.
In my mouth. Horse.
Horse.
Horse. Yeah, I don't like his name already, so I know I'm not liking his energy. I don't know who he is, but I don't. Something about it.
My guides have I've read on him before, and I've always seen him leaving. And I think here soon we're going to hear more information about those Pandora papers, and there might even be more information with that, some financial information that makes him step down. But I'll throw some cards on him. Dean usually does not read politics, so he's going to be a little bit unbiased because he's not super political. So I think that's always good, because sometimes with a lot of our readers that we enjoy, I mean, they're usually Democratic, and so there's some bias or hope associated with those. So I think it's good to have an unbiased opinion. So.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I mean, I think it's fun, because even today I was even doing love readings, which I never do. So
yeah,
we're trying to branch out, do things a little differently.
I don't love doing love readings. I mean, I do because some people like them, but I just feel like if I were to just do love readings, it just feels so desperate to me, like the energy does. Not for everybody, but some of the people asking the love questions, it's all I feel is just desperation. This person loved me. No, you need to love yourself.
Yes, and I've been saying that a lot today. There were some good ones though too, but I brought the sexual energy cards, and I was telling people, this is your sexual energy now. Some of them scared me, honestly, but
I just feel like with the love readings especially, it just feels very thirsty a lot of times, and it's just people just want to tell you what they want to hear, like. And if you don't tell them what they want to hear, they just disagree with you. Love readings just really are not my favorite. I mean, some are fine, but I don't mind looking into it. It's just the energy around it sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. That's why it's not something I'm going to do all the time. It was just spur of the moment, see what it was like. I probably came on the wrong time of the day, probably in the morning. It worked better. But yeah, I hate when I don't hate it. It's not my favorite thing to do when it comes into my live readings, just general readings. And what's my love? Does this person love me? What's this person's intention for me? Yeah. And I'm like, ask them.
I just feel like it lowers my vibrations a lot of times. Just like that desperation, like I need this person to love me. I just don't like tapping into that. I think it's because I'm an empath. So it's not always the case. There's a lot of people that are really strong people that just want to know what's going on with their love life. But all right, so Boris Johnson. Yeah, I like political readings and spiritual readings. Earth Mama. And I think it's kind of important to a lot of subscribers don't care for the personal so much, or if they're watching a video, they don't want it all mixed in with their political. So I'm going to keep them separate from now on, I think.
Boris. Okay. Well, I definitely feel like, well, I got the Ace of Swords in reverse, so I feel like
Mm.
he's definitely not communicating the way he should be communicating. But that being said, I feel like whatever he's up against, I feel like it's a tug of war for him. He's holding on right now, since it's in the upright position. He's holding on for right now, and I feel like he has the support. I'm not sure if he's married or he has the support of a woman, and it's a fiery woman too. I have the Queen of Wands. It's not like a mistress or one like that, because that would be my mistress right there. But
You know
it's
what I wonder
somebody
with
that.
that? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt.
Go
I
ahead.
kind of was feeling though that the next prime minister of the UK will be a female, so maybe that's why it's coming in like that.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Ooh.
But I feel like his time, and I think he knows his time is up, because I have the Six of Swords. So he's
Yeah.
definitely planning to move. And I think he's going to have the support of his party with him. They're going to help him ease him out. And this is still positive. And I think he's going to leave on a positive note versus dragging this out. He'll go out with some class at least. But that's what I got.
All right. What was the female card that you got? Was it the Queen of Wands?
Yeah, the Queen of Wands.
That's what I have in the short-term future. So what I got is there's something from his past that's resurfacing with the Six of Cups. In this card, the roots are all colorized, and that's meant to represent the past. Six of Cups is usually like nostalgia or childhood. But the thing from the past, the energy crossing it, is very conflicted. It's almost self-sabotage. He did something that is going to come back and get him. I do believe it's money related with this Eight of Pentacles, building his money up. His world's about to come crashing down with the tower above him. So it's going to be very unexpected, big, explosive news that has to do with money and something from his past dealings. Like I was saying before, I felt a woman coming in next as the next prime minister. And she's from a different party. She's rebalancing the energy. So I think with this change, I'm feeling it's going to have a lot more positive changes than Boris Johnson. So I don't remember who asked the question, but hopefully that's some good news for you all.
But yeah, I think, like I said, I think he's going to bow out gracefully. It's the energy that I'm getting. His party's going to help.
I kind of feel him walking away too.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he'll be forced out because of a scandal. And so, yeah, he might just, rather than fight it, just decide to step down. Yes, please hit the thumbs up. I appreciate that. And if you're not subscribed to Dean's channel, The Hermit's Corner, please subscribe. He's a wonderful reader. We all like to support one another in this community. So.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, Jalicia. Patty G. I just saw you not too long ago. Hello, Chris and Kay. Sam, the Reiki Master. Hello.
If you're just jumping on, today we're just doing political, spiritual, world events. We do have a little ghost channeling thing that will probably happen later. So no personals today. But if you have another question that you want to submit, you can go ahead and do that for us. My next question is from Patty G, and she asks if we see anything of the ordinary and on February 16th, 2022 happening, something to the United States. So I'm assuming she wants to know if there's going to be anything out of the ordinary, I think is what she was meaning. Maybe some astrologers have said that that's an important day for our country.
When you read that, February 16th, I felt tickled inside. I don't know what that means.
Well, we can throw some cards and see what's going on. I've often felt in the springtime of next year, there's going to be a lot of news. So
February 16th.
Choose this deck. I feel like it might be Trump related too. I was just picking up. But there's a lot of Trump news coming out next month in January too. So Patty G, after we've thrown some cards, please, if you don't mind, just what did you hear was supposed to happen that day? It might make it easier for us to pick it up, but we can throw some cards on it first and see if it's something similar to what you're thinking is going to happen.
I feel like it might be a scandal about between something that we probably haven't heard before.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got the Queen of Pentacles and I got the King of Wands, so I got a couple here.
Okay.
And I don't really like this interpretation or this version of the Queen of Pentacles because both sides are negative to me, the way I see her. Okay. I have somebody who's very, very full of themselves, arrogant, very like, well, look at me, I'm so beautiful. And then I have like deceitfulness with her. It's either one or the other. I don't like this card altogether. And with the King of Wands, I feel like he's off guard. Like he's not really thinking that anything is going on. Like things are happening on in the background, but I don't feel like I think he's blindsided by something.
Okay.
Because the next I got the Five of Cups, which is depression for me. Loss, depression.
Okay.
I got the Four of Pentacles, which in this interpretation, it looks like somebody is like living their best life and not really like holding on to their possessions, just living their best life. And it's causing some anxieties for, I think, the woman in this. Okay. But I get the Two of Cups, but in the reverse. I do see somebody parting ways. Like she looks very arrogant here too, just like the Queen of Pentacles. And I get the Seven of Swords. So I think it's upside here. So I feel like this, whatever, it's going to be long and drawn out. There's not a swift end to this, whatever this is. It's going to be drawn out. I don't know if that makes any sense. But it's...
Hi, Barb LaRosa. Well, I definitely got Trump in my cards, so he comes to me as the King of Pentacles, and this deck is like my specific Trump deck. So
I wonder if this is about the divorce of him and his wife, because it's kind of been like, you know, like she's kind of like leaving him. Then other people say, no, she's not. I don't know. I don't know.
I can't remember what Melania's her sign is. I think it's bigger than that though, but maybe she's leaving as a result of what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I see with this Six of Swords, we're moving into sailor waters. Somebody's leaving. Some big news is happening, and it's going to make us calmer and push us to calmer waters. It has to do with money relating, taking money. I get the taking money above and with Trump too. So I think with this card, I get the in the short-term future, I get the Six of Wands, which for me would be like inauguration. So I think that there's something from the January 6th commission about money being passed for Trump to try to secure the election and celebrate. I think it has to do with that. But whatever it is, it's very big. A lot of big movement with the Eight of Wands. It's going to be explosive almost. It's going to be very emotional for the Republican Party. My Ten of Cups comes through for the Republicans. So all of these insurrectionists and nasty Republicans that do dark stuff with dark money, I think there's some big news coming out from the January 6th on that. That's my interpretation anyway. Did Patty G, did any readers say what they were thinking was going to happen? Were they thinking it had to do with Trump or the January 6th? I heard that his astrologically, Trump's in his chart, it looks terrible for him for like the next couple of years.
Well, with all the scandals that are going on about him, that's not surprising.
Yeah. But he's been, from what I hear, he's had luck on his side because the way his Jupiter, I'm not really all that into astrology, but I think Jupiter has to do with luck. And a lot of people are saying Jupiter has been protecting him. And it's just changed into his charts where that luck isn't going to be able to help him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've always felt a lot of big information coming out from this January 6th committee. So I feel like it might be related to that. So to get away from politics, if you're okay with it, I don't know how much you're going to love this question, but Silver asked, now that Britney Spears has gotten her freedom, where do you see her in the next 5 years? Feel like reading on Britney?
Sure, why not? Let me bust out my Alice in Wonderland deck. I mean, you either love her or you hate her. It's either one or the other, but
right.
I don't know. I always call it Hollywood trash.
Everybody's cup of tea. I mean, she's definitely been very controversial, but also too, I think to not have any freedom and to have your family take all that money from you, and I mean, she's not able to do anything. She's stuck at home and is at the control of her family, and I don't think that's right either. So I'm glad that
I feel like it's all allegedly, because we don't know her mental state. We really don't. We only hear what other people are saying. Because see, I'm big on mental health and mental health awareness.
Right.
So if she's not in her right state of mind, then she needs all the help she needs. But it should be, and I'm totally for the people like her dad was her conservator or a parent or guardian, or if the court's even deciding. I don't think it should have necessarily been her dad, or her family member.
Right.
Well, let's see what sweet Britney has to say.
I agree. I think that, somebody needs the help. That's one thing, but to take advantage of somebody and use her as a workforce, I don't agree with either. For their own benefit.
And let's be honest, she was part of the New Age Mickey Mouse crew. I mean, and none of them really went in. A lot of them had some dark history.
Yeah. It's hard I think, especially for a lot of child stars, because they never get to experience childhood and all that. They have to be an adult and be cash cows for their family, which I think is sad. Yeah, well, let's just see what's going on with Britney.
Ooh, the first card I got was the Emperor, so I think this is like
the control.
Either control of either her family control, her father control, or this could be her attorneys. Let's see what else we get. Okay, I'm feeling the Queen of Cups is either her mother or Britney herself. Not sure she's a water sign. I don't know.
I think she's a Sag, I think.
Okay. or she might have water in her chart, a lot of water in her chart.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, we do know that she's been labeled somewhat possibly crazy and not all together. And, the Queen of Cups is all about finding that balance of emotions too. So that can kind of represent that. I also got the Eight of Swords. I feel like she's been put in a cage and made to be like somebody's puppet, but I don't know if that was all an act or not. I get the Four of Cups. I feel okay. Maybe she was only allowed to come out and play when everybody said wanted something for her. At least that's what I'm seeing with the Four of Cups.
Okay.
She has a lot of strength around her. She has the spirit of a heart of a tiger, not tiger, a lion, but the calmness of like a lamb almost. So there's some, I feel like when I see the strength card, I usually see like a divine intervention almost with God's support, a very like with support from the higher realms that may be. And I also get the Hanged Man. So I'm feeling like she's kind of locked down to where she has to make a choice, but she's gonna have to be able to stand by her own convictions. And I get the Two of Pentacles. So she needs to find balance and harmony and
right
in whatever she does. She needs to find that balance. And if it's not with her family, then it needs to be from a support system that's going to be there to help her feel whole again. Because if not, it's going to lead back to the hospital for her. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be the last time she's going to go to the hospital or be committed to something. Because with the Five of Cups, it just seems like with Alice in this interpretation, she's very chaotic. She's very, very explosive. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. She's gonna have to have a calm somebody with like the Four of Pentacles to balance her out. I feel she's gonna have to feel somebody.
There's a lot of balance in your cards, like rebalance.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, but that is what I'm getting for poor sweet Britney. Poor sweet Britney.
What I'm picking up intuitively for Britney in the next 5 years, I think here shortly she is going to do a tell-all. I feel like it could possibly be a book, but I'm feeling more of it's like an interview. Maybe she's gonna be do like an Oprah interview or something like that. I see her really celebrating her freedom the next year or two, and then I think she's gonna start doing more music. I think she's going to tour rather than do the residency, but I think eventually she may go back to the residency, but I think she's going to really do a lot of touring. I definitely see her being relevant and having some big hits again. Right now, she's just doing a lot of soul searching. She's going within, trying to find her light that I feel was taken from her for the longest time. That card came flying out, the Hermit. She's celebrating. There's a lot of movement, a lot of attention around her. I get the Queen of Wands crossing her. I think that might be her boyfriend or fiance. I'm kind of feeling that they might get married here very soon. I see this as a time of creative freedom for her, celebration, really playful excitement energy. She's moving past the Tower moment in her past, all that disruption. Right now, the world's watching her. The sun is on her. Also, she's celebrating, joyful, happy to be out of her conservatorship. She is giving some news here, though, with the Eight of Wands in the short-term future. She's sharing it with the world. I clarified that with. At the bottom of the deck, I get the Eight of Swords, feeling trapped, feeling blindfolded, not feeling in control. I know that there's some new money coming in, so she will have some new financial opportunities and a lot of her wishes being fulfilled with the Nine of Cups. So I think the next few years is going to be really good for Britney. I think she's doing some soul searching right now and celebrating.
Mm-hmm.
So
I kept going through, and I did get the Eight of Wands, like 5 cards going through.
Yeah,
Just
there's a lot of
pulling.
movement around
It
her
was
right
a
now.
lot of Pentacles and a lot of Swords. It was all about balancing. Everything was balancing.
And so you had a lot of conflict in your cards, but I really didn't in mine besides the Tower in her path. So
I still think she's gonna go back to the resident, like back to treatment.
I think she will eventually. I think before she does that, though, I feel like she's gonna do a world tour. That's just what I'm picking up intuitively, though. All right, I will. I think I had one more question, but. Do you want to throw a spread on what 2022 looks like, just the energy for the year?
Sure. 2022. Cannot believe that.
In the U.S.
2022.
And then those are the couple questions that I had submitted to me prior. So if you have any political, spiritual, any world event questions that you want answered, just go ahead and send them in the chat, all caps, and
Sam
maybe heart.
About Oprah.
I do feel Oprah has good energy to her. That's just me. I think she does enjoy her money and her power that's associated with it, but I think that all in all, Oprah really means well, and she really cares about people. And you disagree. That's all right.
I feel she comes off as fake. I read her as fake.
Okay.
I don't know why. I feel like she knows the game and she's playing it really well. But I don't know. We'll have to see what the cards say.
Right. So you want to throw on 2022, or do you want to throw on Oprah?
No, let's see 2022.
Okay, we got Kathy with us. Hey, Kathy.
Sorry I'm late.
You're okay.
I'm going to sit funny because...
Notice, you had the gold.
I'm in the blind spot right now. I still haven't got my office moved. As you can see, the lights hitting my curtain.
Yes.
It's so bright in here.
It's been black here, dark outside for the last couple hours here. So
yeah, same here.
Yeah, I'm in California, so we're like at peak straight in my back window.
You missed some great questions. We just read on Britney.
We just read on Britney.
I know. Traffic was like bumper to bumper from Fresno all the way to Tulare. It was crazy. I was like, I'm checking my GPS. Is there an accident or something? No.
Well, I'm happy that you're here, Kathy, because I was so excited to work with both of you.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you on, Dean. I've been on your channel before, but me and Kathy have been talking a while about doing a collab with the three of us, so I'm glad that that's happening tonight. And you were just on Kathy's channel too, weren't you? On Sunday?
Yes, I was on Sunday.
With Sharon.
It was like a last minute, hey, I'll ask Dean to come on.
And we were talking for like almost 2 hours after the show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Kathy's a chatty Kathy.
Yeah,
we chat for a while after the shows too, usually. But I'm glad that you
we chatted quite a bit on the show too. We were talking about our abilities and different aspects of it, and really interesting conversation. We were having fun. And you know how I am when I channel, I start channeling without anticipating it. And he asked a question about his guide, and boom, he was here. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I need to work with you on that. But we need to do that in private.
Right. Kathy, do you want a couple rapid fire questions? Do you want a couple rapid fire questions just to get you caught up with us?
Sure.
Just like if you can pick it up by channeling rather than throwing cards, because me and Dean already read on it.
Okay.
So what do you see for Boris Johnson? Do you see him leaving anytime soon? The UK Prime Minister.
Yeah, I think he's on his last term, and then I think he's going to get voted out.
Oh, okay.
People are unhappy with him. They don't like the way he handled the
Thank you, Tracy.
What do they call it? Brexit. Nobody likes how Brexit's handled. It's really destabilized the UK and England, and but from that stemming, I think Scotland is going to break away from the UK and go independent for the first time in a million years, which Scotland's wanting to do since as long as my ancestors have been alive. So I'm not so sure it's a bad thing for Scotland. And I think the rest of Ireland's going to do it too. I think.
Yeah, I think eventually, but eventually they will.
Yeah, Northern Ireland is already, but Southern Ireland.
Is that where Wales is? Or no, Wales is part of the.
Wales is part of the UK. That side of Ireland is going to go independent eventually and break away from the UK.
Me and Dean both saw him leaving, and we both had the Queen of Wands.
Yeah.
So we were thinking that a woman's coming in. I think it's from an opposite party.
Yeah.
But I also felt like he may leave beforehand because I was picking up intuitively, I think, the Pandora Papers. I think there's a lot more financial information.
Could be. Up. Oh, yeah. When you said Pandora Papers, I heard, yes. There's issues with him on the Pandora Papers.
And I feel like his party's going to help him smoothly transition gracefully out. That's how I felt.
But if he doesn't, they'll float his.
Yeah. I see him leaving either way.
And Australia, Scotty from marketing will be leaving too. I think he'll get voted out.
I'm not too familiar
with Scotty from marketing. Their prime minister, I don't think he's going to be lasting.
Do you see some good news for Britney being freed?
Britney Spears.
Britney Spears.
Yeah, and her attorneys are going to help her protect her money from this new husband.
Okay, yeah.
So that's her family's because she's tired of people screwing her.
Yeah,
and she'll make sure that her money is managed. She works with her advisors to protect herself so that people can't take advantage of her.
Yeah.
Because she does realize that, in the past it's been a problem, and yes, her father soaked her for millions.
Yeah. Her whole family, really.
Yeah, her whole family. She literally was
a cash cow.
He was forcing her to work to keep the money flowing for the entirety of the family. And she's only responsible
funny you said that, because that's how my card spreads were all laid out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're reading on right now.
I'm getting positive feedback on my mediumship.
Yeah.
And that's where the info was coming in from, I think, Kevin. It was her attorneys. That's why.
And that makes sense for some of my cards too, I think.
Yeah. I see her attorneys very involved. She's working with them though, and she's got an attorney team she's trusting, and a financial advisor she trusts. It's not going to milk her.
Do you feel that her boyfriend or fiance that they're going to be getting married very soon? Because I'm feeling that. I feel it's going to get rushed.
I think they're going to get married, but I'm not sure that marriage is going to last. I think he's looking for a cash cow too, and
he likes the attention too. Yeah. He wants to start his own career.
He's doing all the honey romance stuff right now, and he wants to get his hand on her money. Yeah, he's a bit of a gold digger. I mean, he may have his own money, but he wants hers too.
Yeah,
and that's going to ruin the relationship.
Ooh,
I'm not feeling babies right now, Earth Mama.
Don't think she's having babies.
No.
I'm not feeling anymore. I think she's done.
I think she's done.
I know she wants to have more babies, but I don't. If she does, I don't see it with this guy.
Yeah, I don't think that she's stable enough to have any more kids. I mean, I don't say that in a bad way, because as I felt like she's going to be in and out of treatment for the rest of her life. To balance herself out.
I think I don't know if it was in the press about. I think she has a lot of issues with postpartum depression, and that was part of her spiral.
I heard that with the reason why she went into the conservatorship is because her family was saying was early stage dementia for being so young. And that right there just sounds really fishy to me. I don't believe that.
Yeah, I don't believe
I
that.
see bipolar issues.
I think she was spending a ton of money. She was
Drugs.
partying heavily.
Yeah.
I think she
And that could be part of depression too.
Well, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she felt very alone. I think the paparazzi harassed her, and it was very hard on her.
She was getting a lot of really negative press, and
yeah,
she's it's not untypical. She came up through the Disney Corp.
Yeah,
child star.
No good comes from Disney.
Well, I wouldn't say no good comes from Disney, but she
got the bad luck out of that.
It's a tailspin for a lot of children actors and stuff that get involved in those things. And the parents are so involved in their finances and dipping their hands into it. They feel entitled.
They're literally cash cows for their family.
Yeah, they are. And those backstage parents, quote managers, hire a real manager.
I did get the 8 of Swords for her, and I'm wondering if that could be mental illness. I wonder if I can associate that with mental illness.
She does have some mental issues. Has some mental imbalances.
I think she's treatable,
Yeah.
Psychologist.
She doesn't need to be in a conservatorship because of her mental.
No, she needs to have control of her finances. She is a grown adult. You know what? People that have mental issues don't all go under conservatorship. Most of them are stuck, and she is a person too.
She can take care of herself to the degree where she doesn't need to have
the Empress card for her.
I love that card.
Her power.
That's one of my favorite cards to see.
Her past, she's walking away from the past.
Mm-hmm.
And I get her as the Empress, and she's got the Ace of Wands on her side. She's going to make good decisions. So just a 3-card spread. Yeah, her future's looking good.
Yeah, I got good cards for her as well.
Her marriage.
And I see her.
I'll read on that later, but.
Yeah, I see her getting married, and I feel like she's going to do an interview and tell her story, and I do see new music and touring in the next few years.
No, for a while the marriage is going to work. Don't know how long.
For a little while, maybe.
And it's funny that family card had a Burnett for her husband, because I saw
stars. So yeah, the marriage is going to be okay for now. I don't feel like it's going to last, though. I think maybe 5 years, maybe longer.
I think he's a pretty boy. Is he a pretty boy?
I don't know.
Because that's when I get a vibe from him.
I don't follow that kind of stuff. I totally reading blind on these.
We don't normally do pop culture, Kathy, so it's different to change it up a little bit.
I read a pop culture on some rapper that I'd never heard of, and which is fun for me because I'm reading totally blind. I love doing blind readings though, and everybody in the room when I read it, I said, "Well, this is what the sky's about." Am I right? Am I off base? And everybody's going, no, you got it right. I'm like, okay, cool. Because I don't follow that stuff.
Right.
I just don't follow it. Never have. I was never into the pop magazines or teen scene.
I call it the Hollywood trash.
Yeah, I've never been into it. I'm like, if I can remember an actor's name, I go, yeah, Jack Nicholson. Show my age.
Jack Nicholson, really? You like Jack Nicholson?
Oh, I absolutely love Jack Nicholson.
Ooh.
Now he doesn't feel like he's in very good health right now to me.
No, he has dropped out of the limelight and is no longer going to the Laker games. He is suffering from dementia.
Is it dementia? I could tell he's suffering with something.
Yeah, he's having a lot of problems with dementia.
I feel like his health is declining. That's what I felt. Yeah. Like
his health is declining. I'd say he's probably got another 5 years or so before he passes. It's not going to be soon.
Was he an alcoholic before in the past, or did he like to drink a lot?
Serious alcoholic, yeah.
Because I'm sensing alcoholism.
Yeah.
Or alcohol.
Yeah. Yeah. He was a serious alcoholic for a number of years, but no, you won't see him anyplace. He's pretty much keeping to himself now.
I feel like he has somebody helping take care of him.
Yeah, he has care and stuff like that. But yeah, his health has been in decline for about 2 years now.
Is it his children that's taking care of him, I wonder?
No, he's got
feels like a nurse, like an aide.
He's got live-in nursing, and he's not very nice to him either.
I'm sure not. Yeah.
When you said that, I was just seeing One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
You know the movie he did with the one that he did when he's dating the gal's daughter, and he ends up marrying the. I can't think of the name of it.
It was she died of cancer in the movie. What is that movie's name?
It's the one where she wrote the play about him and her affair with him, and it went.
Oh, play. Oh, I don't know if that's.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm a huge movie person, though.
It wasn't as good as it gets. I watched it the other day. It was somebody in the chat knows the movie I'm talking about.
Is it with Diane Keaton?
Yes, with Diane Keaton. I told you I'm terrible with names of actresses.
Let me see.
Her daughter was an auctioneer in the movie.
Oh, I was thinking about Shirley MacLaine and him in that movie. I can't remember that movie.
Oh, that's Terms of Endearment.
I love that movie.
I love that movie. Absolutely love that movie.
Did you come up with any cards yet, Kevin, for the 2022?
I haven't thrown yet. Just because I wanted to get caught up
on 2022.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get a lot of hits on 2022. We need to do we should do a big forum and a bunch of us get together and
do some predictions for the year.
Yeah, record it on Zoom or something, a group of us, and just do a recorded prediction show.
Me and you just need to write down everything that we talk about in the chat.
Well, you and I, we need to Zoom all of our conversations.
Zoom. Yeah.
Oh, you should see. We go on these rolls. We'll just be talking in general, and then suddenly we'll just get this psychic roll. One day we predicted every single storm 6 months before they happened. All the hurricanes and everything.
Hurricanes, yeah, the big ones.
And I finally pulled the chat up and went back and publicly went through and said, okay, and here's what the rest of them are, and read them off our chat. Because we were way ahead of all the other readers.
KS had asked the question. I didn't read the whole thing, but she said that she's so sick of all the crap. Do you see any good news for 2022? She said aliens kidnapping Trump and Kevin McCarthy would be nice.
The aliens wouldn't want.
They don't want him either.
McCarthy. I live in Tulare, California. Devin Nunes is our representative. Aren't we lucky?
Sorry.
Actually, my best friend and him are first cousins. But McCarthy will be voted out when he comes up for re-election. He's a goner. I keep seeing McCarthy getting caught up in the 1-6 commission referred for indictments. Okay, so
I don't know. I don't see him in jail, but he's in some trouble.
He's in trouble. Nunes is going to be going to jail too. He doesn't have a lot of support from his family. I can tell you that much because I'm best friends with his cousin. It's not very
we were reading on the energy for the next year, just throwing a basic spread down and seeing what 2022 looks like. Hopefully,
the stock market is going to go. It's going to be wobbly up until the first quarter, and after the first quarter, it's going to stabilize.
Yeah.
This infrastructure plan, by midsummer, we're going to start to see a lot more jobs increase from the infrastructure. It'll take anywhere from 90 to 120 days to get some of those contracts written up and put into place. Because remember, these are not necessarily, this isn't money that anybody's ever expected to actually get. So some of the planning that's in different counties, in different states out there, they're going to utilize any program they've had long-term planning on and get those launched off. But anything new is going to have to be go through contracting and bids and all that to get those contracts out. And that's a 90 to 120 day process. Okay, bye. Don't use all my gas up.
Wow. I got.
Did you get some cards, Dean?
Yeah. It's gonna be like a yo-yo year, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because one of the first few cards that came out was the Three of Swords. So there's heartache, there's heartbreak, And I threw some clarifiers on that. I had the Two of Cups in reverse. So I feel like there's going to be somebody like well-known in the U.S., like well-known, possibly with a kid that's going to be walking away. And it's going to be, I feel like it's going to be a divorce that's going to come out, but it's going to be a separation. I actually think this is Trump. I don't know why. But
yeah, that marriage is ending.
That's what I'm feeling about this, because she's walking away from him, and I see a child with the Page of Cups here. So I see them walking away, and I think she's going to end up raising him on her own.
Yeah, and she's taking him out of country. She's getting him away from his mother. She's taking him out overseas.
I don't think
that's a bad thing. I honestly don't think that's a bad thing. He
needs to be out of the limelight. He needs to be raised away from all that.
She's done really good at keeping him out of the limelight through the presidency. Very little public appearance, considering.
I definitely see.
She's stashing money, every penny she can sneak out of any coffer she can get her hands on.
Right,
she's stashing money because she's not going to come out smelling pretty on a divorce, because all his money, what he doesn't have any real money.
Yeah,
he's going to be hit so hard, slammed so hard with lawsuits and stuff that there's really not going to be any compensation for support, spousal, all that. She's going to get very little. In fact, if I was giving her advice as a psychic, I'd say, go talk to your attorney, file now. File now. Get ahead of the line of lawsuit hits, so you get something.
I feel as a whole, I think people are still going to be saving, not really investing a lot. I feel like people are still going to be like keeping to themselves throughout the rest of the year. I do feel like it's going to be, like I said, up and down. People are going to be like, just, are we, like, I feel like, are you kidding me? And not again. Are you serious? That's the kind of energy I'm feeling with that. But on the positive note, I feel like whatever's going on, we're going to be not divided anymore. I get the World card. We're going to be more brought together, more connected, more united. So there is some positivity coming out of this, but that's pretty much what I get.
See, I started out with the Seven of Pentacles. We're going to work hard for our money. We're going to reap what we sow, but I'm with you. I'm seeing that we're going to hold on tight. Let's see where this economy is going to stabilize to. But then it's followed by the Ace of Pentacles. I think we're going to be moving upward as the year goes on. We've got the Knight of Cups moving in. And I'm seeing
I got the Knight of Wands.
Biden is a musician. And once midterms happen, everything's going to start moving really fast. We're going to see a lot of change of laws, the rest of the infrastructure package. Realize that whatever's passed now is the beginning of infrastructure. They're willing to negotiate off anything to pass it, because they know once we take over the Senate, we'll be writing tons of legislation. And I wouldn't doubt that Nancy Pelosi doesn't have a stack or 10 sitting waiting to be processed and moved through the Senate as soon as we take over the House.
She has a lot of bills.
She has.
I have a tower moment here too, as well.
Everything under the moon.
Yeah, I feel a tower moment too, Dean.
But it's in the positive side, though. Like it's like like an awakening, a rebirth almost.
Is it a reverse tower, or was it right side up?
It's an upside right. It's not the reverse. It's upside right. So there's hope. That just means that to me there's hope.
Yeah.
But again, this one also see all the mighty shall fall. The crown is being tossed
the crown
out.
Falls. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what that means. Why I don't know why it said the mighty shall fall. Or
because that's what's happening is the 1%ers are going to start losing. And I do see that taxation is going to change, and big corps are going to say, well, this is going to impact our ability to hire and stuff. Bullshit. they made so much money off from COVID and everything else. They got tons of money, and Biden's calling them on it.
Think about a lot of the major corporations were having their people work from home that could work from home. Right. And a lot of them now are transitioning and closing down their offices just to let them work from home because it was cheaper than having office buildings and office space.
Oh, between the lease space and the utilities to run the utilities in a building, and when you can pass that on to your employees.
They already have a place to live.
Yeah.
And to do business out of their home.
And any employee that's working from home will learn really quick if they read tax law, which is not that hard to read. You have a dedicated office space in your house. You can take the square footage and a percentage of your utility bills, write off all your internet. You can write,
And the gas, because I know, like, for example, my aunt, she's like the executive assistant, like a quote unquote secretary, right?
Yeah.
She has to FedEx things. She has to go back and forth, print the labels, and she has to go and drop it off at a drop-off point. So that's gas there. So
yeah, it's all tax, and a lot of that you do recoup. My first degree, I was becoming a CPA. I made it all the way through. Actually aced the law class too. And then I started working as a courier for CPA companies, and I discovered that the older the CPA, the more sad they look, unhappy. They didn't look content. Like the young ones had all this energy and zip, and the older ones were like depressed. And I went, "Oh, do I want to end it that way?" And so I changed my major.
Real quick before I tell you a mic throw,
that I was a professional college student. And I still
real quick before I go over my throw, I wanted to ask if anybody in the chat had felt like a grandfather energy. His name was Ed, I believe, that passed. I had somebody that came here that to my house that had a message for somebody in the chat.
And I don't know who you are, but I kept on getting an S name, Cindy, Sandy, something.
Are you getting a woman?
I'm getting it's a woman in the chat. She's not in the chat under her real name. She's under a pseudonym. So anybody have a grandfather named Ed or a dad named Ed?
I felt Ed. He was an older man though, and he looked kind of frail.
I'm feeling anxiety, like a lot of anxiety right now. That's probably his energy.
Connie says her gramps is Ed. It was a male. It was a male that was here.
It may be Connie's.
It might be Connie. Did Connie, did your I'm gonna ask my pendulum if it's for you, but did you have a rough relationship with him? Because I felt like he was apologizing. Like I feel like he could be mean in his physical body.
This corner of my eyes are starting to get watery too. Like he's remorseful about something.
No, I'm getting that the one that came forward earlier is not for Connie. Okay. But I have this feeling Connie's grandfather did come forward.
I just asked, and I think as we're talking about him, no, it was somebody else. She says her grandpa was a really kind person. I felt maybe they're yet to come on still, but I felt like he was very apologetic, and I felt like he could be a little grumpy, and that's the nicest person in this physical body.
Yeah, when we were talking about it earlier, I was hearing Cindy, Sandy, Susan, soft S sounding name, but I couldn't get the whole name. I just know it was
All right. Well, I will go on to my 2020 spread real quick then. Well, I see a lot of us waiting to see the investments that we put in the country coming forward with this 3 of Wands. I do also get Russia in my cards, and I do feel with Russia and China, there's going to be a lot of back and forth. I don't see like a war or anything like that, but I do see a lot of back and forth with our adversaries. I get a lot of information coming in. I'm feeling it has to do with the Republican Party, because the Republican Party, my Republican Party card, 10 of Cups, is in the past. And in the short-term future, I get the King of Wands is backstabbed. So there is going to be some big, a lot of news on a lot of the Republican Party. I don't know who this King of Wands is off the top of my head. I don't feel like it's Trump. It's somebody else in the Republican Party. I do feel a tower moment for the country, something that leaves us grieving. It could be for entertainment purposes only. It could be something like another attack on our country, or it could be a domestic terrorist incident. But I see 2020.
I'm hearing yes, but it's going to be they're going to be small clusters.
I feel small clusters, but I do feel something big is going to happen. That's going to be a real wake-up call for a lot of people.
People are just going to be fed up with it at that time. They're just feeling like, no, we're not going to put up with this BS.
I feel 2022 we are going to be moving on from a lot of things. I see with the pandemic, a lot of things getting better with that. It's going to be more under control.
Getting that crossroad.
But I do see a lot of the same kind of energy that we've experienced this year coming into 2022. But 2022 is a turning point for our country. We're going to have I feel like it's more towards the fall, but there's a turning point where we're going to leave a lot of the negative things from the past behind, and we're going to go in a more positive direction as a country. Get a lot of work
during the spring quarters when things are going to start picking up.
I do see money getting better towards the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
With the Nine of Pentacles. And my Russia card, the Empress, there's going to be a lot of back and forth with Russia next year, I feel, with the Chariot. But I feel 2023 is going to be a much more positive year for us. Yes, for entertainment purposes only. Thank you. It's going to be something that that big thing I'm seeing. I haven't seen what it is yet, but I've felt it for a while, and I feel it's going to really wake up a lot of people.
I asked about trade agreements with China, because I know we're still having issues with China right now. And I asked, is the U.S. and the U.K. going to go together? Because I know the U.K. is having a lot of trade issues, and so is Australia. Are we going to these allies countries going to pull together in trade agreements with China rather than doing them independently, to get a better control on our trades with China? And what I got is we're going to hold on to what we've got, followed by justice. So I think that's us negotiating. The Emperor is working on this, which I am reading. This is Biden.
Yeah.
And he's acting as the king. And since those 4 cards didn't answer, are we correlating? So I asked again, will we be working in conjunction with other countries to make the agreements? And I got the Knight of Wands as a yes, and the Page of Cups. And then the 7 of Swords. Yes, so we'll be moving to higher grounds with other allies, countries, to get better trade agreements in place. And that's going to happen sometime in 2022. I think part of the infrastructure bill is going to be encouraging renewed industry back into the United States over time. And I think they're going to do a lot of pushing on getting some of these manufactured towns that have factories and stuff that have shut down, getting those buildings back up to creating new jobs and making things in America again. I think that'll be something on a push with the next infrastructure bill.
We're going to do a lot more of
proposals for blue collar work, industrial work.
We're going to do a lot of our own industrial work that has to do with like where we're not outsourcing for car parts or I know a lot of like the chip technology we get from China, and I think we're going to put a lot of investments towards that.
We sent that to China, and now they're realizing that it was a really foolish thing for us to do. Mm-hmm. Because China's the only country that's making it right now.
It's going to change. We're going to do a lot more for ourselves. I agree with you. Were you picking up
that kind of technology and development? We developed a lot of that here in the United States and then handed it to China.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What are you picking up, Dean?
Why?
I'm sorry. I was still stuck on Ed's energy right now.
Oh, okay. You know, it's funny that you said that you were getting like an S sound because I saw Sandy. So I think whoever is in the chat named Sandy or something similar to that, there's an Ed coming through. And that's funny too because I have a grandma whose name is Sandy. She's still here, and her husband for the longest
names
time
that I had earlier, and Sandy was the second on my list.
Yeah.
I just feel like he's so remorseful right now, and if I could cry, I would, because I have it's like watery right here. And
well, how about we channel and read what message he wants to.
And whoever,
because I want to get rid of it.
Whoever it's for, if it resonates to you, it's probably your grandfather.
It's definitely a male energy. It's not a woman coming through named Sandy. We're thinking the person in the chat's name is Sandy KS. Or it starts with an S. Susan.
Sandy or something sounding similar. Like the first two names I got when I was trying to name was Cindy, Sandy. A soft S.
But the person whose past name I'm pretty sure was Ed. I heard Ed. I asked my pendulum. It said yes. Kathy got a hit.
Yes, it's Ed. It's Ed.
I haven't noticed him since he startled me earlier, so I asked him to open up my door again over here. So if it comes open,
whoa!
I've got him here.
I just saw like a black and white photo of him as a kid. Wonder why as a kid. But it was like a black and white photo. He had his hair all slicked back, of course. But that's all I saw, just a kid.
Does he feel like a veteran to you? I'm getting veteran vibes.
I heard World War II. He fought in World War II.
Black and white photo.
He was in Europe in World War II.
He's been passed for a while now, too, I feel.
Yeah, more than 15 years.
Yeah. I was feeling 20.
Yeah, that's I was hearing 15, 20 years. Time changes, time's linear on the other side, so he doesn't know what year it is here.
Maybe it's meant for somebody that will watch this that isn't in the chat right now.
It may be I'm feeling it's fear later.
I'm feeling anxiety. It's anxiety about something. It's anxious about something. Or does he not know that he's crossed over?
No, he knows. He's crossed. He came in because he saw Kevin's light on.
He saw my light on.
Yeah, he saw your energetic light when you were reading somebody or somebody else, and
he was by.
You know what?
He was nearby, and he followed you. He followed your energy home. That's why he came to your house.
Was doing a lot of ghost stories with Sheila last week, and I'm wondering if he came from Sheila's channel.
May have.
I think yes.
That was.
I think maybe that's why we're hearing the S noise. I don't know if it's Sheila or somebody from her channel.
You know, it may be Sheila's grandfather.
I just got that hit.
I just got a yes on that.
Hmm.
That's right. Run this. Ed, are you Sheila? Sheila's granddaughter. Yeah.
Yes.
I put her whole name in my dot because I didn't want to say it out loud. That's for Sheila. Just email her.
Yeah. I thought she was on earlier. I don't know if she still is. She might be on.
She was in here earlier, yeah.
I know Nasty Woman went live, so maybe she's
Oh, she probably went over there.
Mm.
We still have a good amount of people on here, so I'll have to reach out
more help on that one. I really do.
But I do feel he is definitely he's apologizing because he wasn't the nicest person in the physical world. I feel like he had a lot of post-traumatic stress, and I also kind of feel maybe alcohol issues.
If I remember right, Sheila's family moved over by her grandparents when she was younger. And they lived I don't think they lived with them. I think they lived close to them.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just feel I'm so sorry.
Sure which side of her family it was from, her mom's or her dad's.
He was definitely operating at a very low vibrational energy in his earth body, and he's done a lot of life review and reflection on that. And
I heard,
but I'm sure that she would pick up on that too.
He drank quite a bit.
Yeah, I was feeling alcohol.
If he was an alcoholic, he was what I always call a sober alcoholic. He sipped all day.
Functioning alcoholic.
A
social drinker.
No, not a social drinker.
He could function.
He could function. He could get in a car and drive, and he wasn't temperamental, and he wasn't the slosh. He didn't get stumbling drunk. He just sipped on a bourbon all the time. You know, my grandfather did that. Everybody said he was alcoholic. I never saw him stumbling drunk. And my cousins have. Mm-hmm. But he was never that way around me. And I always call that a sober drunk. You know, he wakes up and has a drink. I know a few alcoholics like that. They never get stumbling drunk. They just sip all day. It's just part of, brushing your teeth, combing your hair, and pouring yourself a glass of a stiff one to get you.
Yeah, high functioning.
Yeah, high functioning alcoholic, not a slush, a drunk, and a violent man. I think he was nasty at times.
Yeah, I do too.
He was nasty. He had a nasty mouth on him.
He could be mean.
And yeah,
that's probably why I thought of him as like a Scrooge.
You did say you felt
I said he's a Scrooge.
Yeah,
I kept seeing when you mentioned like getting the Christmas stuff. And you said, "Man," I automatically went to Scrooge. I don't know why. Mm-hmm. It was weird.
Yeah,
Scrooge.
That's the right personality type.
And he came across to me as a frail older man.
Mm-hmm. Very frail man.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will have to reach out to her. Maybe it was somebody in her chat, but I'm not sure. I'm sure she would pick up on this other stuff.
She'll pick up on the energy with you, and if it's her grandfather, she'll know it.
Yeah. I look for a question.
Tell her what we all got and say, does this sound familiar?
Yeah. It could be somebody from her chat, though. But
it may be somebody from her chat.
Yeah.
Nobody's claimed it in the room.
Yeah. Anyway, so do we have any other questions that we want to finish up on? If anybody has a question, I know I don't think I pulled any.
Did you talk about the NASA article that?
Oh, no, we haven't.
No, what's NASA going on?
You want to, let's get out of politics a little bit and do
this is sort of interesting. NASA right now has a project called DART, and it's what they're going to do is they're going to take
I'll be right back.
The space shuttle up with another spaceship attached to it.
Oh, and they're like piggyback riding
on it.
Okay.
And they're doing a test project to divert. It's diversion something redirection. I have it on my phone. My phone I didn't manage to get in here with. Anyways, I'll have Kevin add the link in the box of the article. Anyways, they're going to an asteroid, and it names the asteroid that they're going to. They're launching on Tuesday. They're going to shoot this rocket and remote control it into the asteroid at 15,000 miles an hour.
This doesn't sound safe.
No, it doesn't sound safe, but it's way, way out in space. But what they're trying to do is to see if the rocket will change the trajectory of the asteroid and put it into a different orbital path. And what their concept behind this, and they're doing a lot of data gathering on technology that they're working on, as well as the rocketry, and also, will this work? What they're trying to see is if this is a way that we can divert asteroids that are coming towards Earth, because we do have a few that appear to be heading our way. So what they're doing is they're doing this project to see if possibly this is a solution. Now, one of the things I get intuitively or through my mediumship is I'm being told from my guide that extraterrestrials have diverted quite a few asteroids heading towards Earth away from us, way out in space before they were in our knowledge zone. So we have people out there that are keeping our planet safe already. My concern about this project is the amount of space junk. By exploding a rocket into an asteroid, why are we littering our universe,
Right.
I just don't think it sounds safe. I'm thinking it's going to be negative. There's negative around it.
Well, and it's not a planet-sized asteroid that it's a moderate size. They give the dimensions in the article, but I think it's like equivalent to like one of the smaller moons that are around Venus.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that they're doing this because they see something heading our way and they want to make sure that they can test it? Right.
They're trying to find a way to protect us from something that could occur.
But do you feel like there is something that is going to occur and that's why they're testing it?
I've heard that there are things that they're watching in the sky that are years out still that have possible trajectories towards Earth.
Not that I see anything.
They want to be ahead of it, not behind it. And I didn't see anything in the article as this being an international project, but these kind of projects usually are.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see what comes of it. But I thought it was a really interesting article. And
it is interesting.
I'm 58, or I'll be 58 in March. And so I'm that space kid that I remember the first moon launch. I remember watching it on TV, and I was 3 or 4 when that happened. But I can remember it being on TV. And by the time I got to kindergarten, taking NASA photos of them walking on the moon and stuff was a big deal. You could buy the pictures at the grocery store of the moon. That was a show and tell item in my school. We were all into it. So I was of that generation.
So you remember when Kennedy was assassinated?
Your mom and I are 2 years apart. Dean was talking about this on his channel earlier. And Dean's 2 years older than my daughter. So.
Yeah, my mom was 1961.
Yeah, I was born in 64. Okay, she's 3 years older than me.
And my dad was born in 56.
And my daughter was born in 82. And you were born in 80. Yeah.
I'm going to look at your question in just a second, Joyce. KS says that she worked at NASA. Yes, there are real concerns in the universe. That's what I was picking up. It feels like there's something that they're concerned about that's a few years out. I don't see anything hitting the Earth. And like Kathy said, I do believe a lot of our ET friends have helped divert some of that stuff. But
Well,
for some
we have
reason,
a
when you
lot of
mentioned that, I
a
was
lot
thinking
of
the
our
movie
ET
Armageddon,
friends are
like almost
occupants
like.
of our Earth too.
Oh yeah, it is kind of like Armageddon, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why it was flashing to his Armageddon. But yeah, I look at it like they're part of our DNA because they have portals around here.
We're part of
If
their
they wanted to
DNA
destroy
anyway.
us, they would have done it a long time ago.
I am not afraid of extraterrestrials. In fact, in the next 5 to 7 years, they're going to be moving more publicly forward. That's part of the reason why that our government's starting to release more and more information is we've got, it's like 80% of the population believes that there's life on other planets. And they also believe that there's visitors visiting our planet. And then I think about half of us now believe that we have ETs living on our planet with us. So we're not in the 1950s anymore. We're not going to go through, that radio program. And we studied it when I was in grade school.
Oh, the World of Worlds.
World of Worlds.
Oh, yeah.
Our society, when they announce it's the spacemen have landed and they've introduced themselves, we're not going to be freaking out. We're going to go, oh, really? What do they look like? Curiosity is going to kick in.
Mm-hmm.
The plus side is I think this will be probably one of the best things for racism our country, our world could have, because aliens are going to be aliens from space versus humans, all of us here on Earth, Earthlings. We're the human race. Our color is going to be less important because we're going to start identifying with each other as a species rather than what part of the planet our heritage came from.
Right.
Which is irrelevant as far as I'm concerned. We're all star seeds.
We're all one.
We are one, yeah.
I mean,
and
I think that when
they're part of we're all part of one. The ETs are just a different dimensional part of source.
We're all of source energy. Everything on our planet is.
In our
anything
universe.
of energy is a source.
And it's universal. It's not just Earth.
Yes, it's
the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when they do decide to show up here, I do feel like they are going to wait until we are ready, because they're not going to show themselves and create chaos. That would not be their goal, and they can't interfere with our free will on this planet.
They're already interacting with many of us.
Yeah, and they are on the planet, but when they actually show themselves in a public way, it's going to be in a way that isn't going to, have everybody get terrified that aliens are taking over the world or anything like that.
And actually, I feel like, I know it's going to sound crazy, but oh well. I feel a lot of them are, like you said, they are integrating it. They're slowly they have been integrating into our society for years, and I think some of them are in positions of power and positions of leadership.
I believe that they've been here long before we were here.
And the reason why I say that's because if I look into the eyes of like just people in political and politics, the eyes they reveal a lot to me. Some of them they don't. I don't know. Their eyes they don't look right. Their eyes like they're not revealing them true selves almost. Or it's hard to explain. Their eyes they look.
There's also quite a few actors and actresses that I think they've integrated into where you'll see women with an extraordinarily large eyes, very beautiful, striking, very large eyes. So for the rest of their face,
right?
And I do think that is a characteristic of an alien race. And then there's definitely a species that looks like the sweetest Nordic look, very blonde hair, blue eyes.
Which one are those?
And they've integrated into the population.
They've been here for a while.
They have integrated into the populations and are living among us.
Are those the Arcturians?
I'm not sure. We need Jen's World on here. She could answer.
Yeah.
I know you're going to read with her too. I need to write her and
she cracks me up. I love Jen's energy.
You know, I did that one mini reading online with her, and I could not contain myself, and I could hear my guide and her guide joking. Mm-hmm. They were telling jokes to each other, and I couldn't stop laughing. Her guide is like slapkick funny. That's why she laughs all the time. He has just got humor. And she asked me a question about her daughter, and I went, "Why is she asking me that? She already knows the answer."
Green eyes. What NASA has reports of other life. We are not alone. Green eyes. What does green have to do with it?
There's many different alien races.
There's a population that has green eyes, and AB negative blood is very common. And they also tend to have a lot of people that report abductions having green eye and AB negative blood.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. That makes sense.
But not me. Mine are hazel.
Well, I come from a family that has an O positive grandfather and an A positive grandmother, and they have O negative and 2 AB negative blood types, children. How did that happen?
It's so interesting when people talk about blood types and like alien races and stuff like that.
My daughter was typed out as an O negative as a child. When she went through amniocentesis and all that, she's A positive now. But she had been tested out for transfusions once, O negative.
Here's a news flash for you.
How does that happen? How do you change blood types halfway through the game?
You can, I think.
I'm A positive.
KS. We are all of alien DNA.
Yeah.
We are all, every human on this planet is of alien DNA.
Yes, we are.
I think they helped create our race. We definitely have alien blood in our...
One thing they will not be doing is they will not be selling their technologies to use to destroy ourselves.
Right.
They've actually
the technology that we
they've stopped a lot of things. They've stopped us from hurting ourselves more than they. That's what the going in and turning off the silos and stuff was their way of saying to us, look, you think about pulling up the codes and launching these, we can stop you. Look, we just shut them all down.
There are reports of them messing with nuclear reactors and stuff. What were you going to say, Dean? I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to say that we've got, if you look at our history, like in the 50s, moving in from the 40s into all the way up to now, our technology has skyrocketed, like catapulted into like something like, how did that happen? That did not happen at a chance.
Since my lifetime.
That happened relatively quickly. The modernization of everything we are doing was alien. I think it was alien.
Yeah.
Due to aliens.
A lot of people are getting downloads from aliens to help with that technology.
Yeah. Well, you've channeled an alien, haven't you? You were channeling for a while.
They send their information down when we're ready as a species. When we're ready for that technology and we're not going to use it to abuse it or destroy the planet or something, in time they send that information and people pick up on downloads.
So my question is, the 5G, remember how everybody's so terrified of 5G? Like it's going to like destroy our
brain cells. Yeah.
Brain cells. I'm like, well, I'm sorry. Technology's been doing that for years already. I just, if I was going to die, at least I'd be happy dying.
And so is McDonald's. Yeah.
Yeah.
We really should be more concerned about our food resources, not our.
Very true.
I don't know about other people.
Question, Dean?
people are going to find themselves moving away from meat products and stuff like that, and becoming more aware of what they're eating in natural foods and green foods. Some people like me have just been forced into it. My body cannot handle the meat anymore. I can't process it. And I've been forced to become a vegetarian. I sneak it in every so often, and I pay for it dearly when I sneak it in. But honestly, I don't miss it that much. It's just, I get mad that I have to cook it all the time, and I don't get to eat it.
I think of a lot of our guides, and there's a lot of ET downloads sending that information to people.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of harmful, additives and the pesticides on stuff.
Processed foods. My body does not handle that stuff anymore. Like deli meats and bologna and stuff like that. Hot dogs. I can't eat it. It makes me so sick. It's the preservatives in it. I just don't react well to it.
Was there a question that you wanted to read on, Dean?
Oh,
I feel like
the whole hype of 5G. It was the whole hype of 5G.
Oh, 5G.
Yeah.
What, is there anything to it? Is that what you were wondering? I don't really feel.
I don't think so either.
5G.
It's actually going to become even more powerful than that, and we're going to start seeing our laptops disappear and our bulky little phones, that are not bulky, but they will be considered bulky before it's over. Our communication devices are going to be more like a headset. And I think
one of those Bluetooth speakers.
Yeah, it's going to be more like everybody's going to wear one. Everybody will have a number. I think our computers are, you see in the movies and text where they have like a clear panel, and it's the computer. It's going to.
I heard that we're going into like organic computers too, where things are just going to be like instant. Like computers can move so quickly; it's faster than even what we could think, and actually be like a living thing.
I think even TV sets are going to disappear, and it's going to be more like a panel wall in our homes that.
And virtual reality
concerts and everything else, you'll be, you're not going to go to a stadium to go to a rock concert. You're just going to play it and it'll be like you're there live.
You go anywhere in the world that you want to go.
What is that movie with Tom Cruise, the one where he was the cop? The ball went down, and it would be they were stopping crime.
Mission Impossible, you mean?
No, it wasn't Mission Impossible. It was one that he did about the same time as that. I can't think of the movie. God, I'm terrible. My mind just pulled a blank. I can see the thing. There was a cop. He used those big screens, and he was moving things around, and they were going in and stopping crimes before they happened.
Minority Report.
Now, the computer technology that they were showing in that, where the images were on glass panels. All of his, he had a little disc that he'd stick into a machine, and it was 3D image. The video cameras, as if his wife was still standing there in front of him. We're going to move to that type of technology. I am a firm believer, after all these years of sci-fi growing up and stuff like that, a lot of the technologies we live with now were in sci-fi movies when I was a kid.
Right.
So I think a lot of the sci-fi writers, and Sterling does, the one that did Star Trek, he channels that guy. Can't think of his name. I'm not really announced today, but I think a lot of the sci-fi stuff comes from just communications from aliens to the writers and stuff in there. It's sort of like our prep work before it actually comes forward to the reality. Because our technologies and everything else. I mean, you watch the movies that my mother, your grandparents watched on spaceships and stuff like that, before we even went to the moon. And then us catching up with some of the the stuff that was even written back then. Some of those old movies are just hilarious to watch. But then you realize that some of those technologies that were actually developed into real things.
Right. I think we're really going to see a lot of, not that there hasn't already been a lot of technology advances, but I think the next 10, 20 years is just going to be, we're not even able to comprehend right now. As we enter the age of Aquarius, the innovation and technology is really just going to be booming in the next decade.
Also, we'll be shifting. I know the downloads I get, I keep hearing that more of us will be shifting to right brain energy. And along with that will come telepathy, the ability to talk in telepathy. You're going to see that this generation of children being born right now will use those kind of communication. They already communicate very differently than we do.
Yeah.
Very, very differently. I know some of us that I work with, and I talk quite a bit telepathically. Kevin and I notice that we're doing that quite a bit too. We're picking up on each other's thoughts all the time. Very, very strange.
It has to do with the vibration, raising the vibrations, and you know, the new Earth and changing our densities. With that, with our raised vibrations, we're able to do a lot more telepathic communications. This is stuff that the aliens and ETs do.
And
they don't communicate.
The more we work in our mediumship side of things, on the spiritual side, the more that ability is sharpened.
Yeah.
That it's came with it. And working in the mediumship side is not something, I mean, I've been doing it for a long time, but really focusing on working on those skills and building them is something I've been doing this last couple of years, and different aspects of the mediumship. And the more and more I develop my abilities and fine tune what I can do and what I can't do, the more of those type of doors that are opening. And Dina asked about channeling and not even realizing you're channeling. That's one of them.
And that's when you were saying that you thought I was channeling when I was getting, like, I felt suffocated, like right in here. Mm-hmm. You were saying I was possibly channeling and not even realizing it.
Yeah. I know both Kevin and I, when we first started channeling, we were doing it before we realized we were doing it. And I don't know about you, but me, it was one day when I was reading with Debbie and Karen, and they invited me onto their show, and they were always doing mediumship readings, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. And then boom, I connected, and I was like, oh, I've seen ghosts all my life, but then instantly I started to look, and yep, I could do it. I was like, okay, I got to skill.
It also helps when you're doing it with other people too, because when there's a collaboration, the energy levels are raised, and you all sync up into the same wavelength usually. And that's why when we're doing readings, like me and you, we're always picking up on the same thing, because me and you are on the same wavelength, at the same frequency. So we're getting the same information at the same time, or getting very similar hits. That's what I've come to.
Sometimes our guides will show us two different aspects of things too. You'll see it from one side, and I'll see it from another, but it all meets in the middle. It's really funny.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
What do you think about this question? Joyce asked earlier. I don't necessarily agree with it. To a point, I do. But she asked, many fellow readers will. I think she's asking when readers will start talking more about spirituality. I think she feels many are negative, seek revenge over acceptance and positive thoughts. Well, I've definitely talked about this with Kathy, and what it is that, people are so passionate in what they believe in, and so when and we want justice for what we feel like we were wronged, which that's not something that I agree with, because it's not up for us to decide what justice somebody deserves.
To do the judgment.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's not our place to judge. And yeah, sometimes it's hard not to be gleeful when bad things happen to people that we disagree with. But really, yeah, we're not supposed to do that.
And honestly, I think the majority of us, when it comes to the big 45,
yeah,
we all would love to see him locked up and the keys thrown away. But it's not us to decide that that's the fate he's supposed to have. I think, honestly, if you want to hurt the man in a vengeance sort of manner, strip him from his finances, because that's the most important.
That's
the only thing he cares about is if he loses all of his money in fines and taxes and all that, and he may never see it, and really he still have to face his self-judgment when he crosses, because there is not a man sitting on a throne that's going to judge him. Yes. He's going to have to look at his life review and see 700,000 people's death. He's going to have to deal with every single person he hurt, every person he didn't pay, every little.
That's what his karma will be, is he will have to relive all that pain and hurt he's caused people. Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I don't think I want to spend an eternity in a white room having to watch all the pain and suffering of that range that he has personally. And one of the things I'm doing with the ascension work is I'm working with people that are just finishing their transition, and I'm being taught light work and healing fractures. Such as, you had something very heartbreaking in this lifetime. After you do your life review and that process, I'm helping mending that as the final part of the transition with my guide. And that's what they're showing me, is that kind of light work before they finish it's the last thing that's done before you move into the full transition. And transitions, I've discovered doing readings with people can last anywhere from a week or 2 to years in our earthly time frame.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I've learned is, yes, we come down with life contracts. The contracts can be breached. They're not set 100% in stone, because we have
free will
at play. And I read from one gal that a family member literally destroyed the contract, and it went a completely different way. Now, spiritually, you'll return back to a portion into your contract. It will play itself in a circle until you go back and write that contract. It just takes a little longer to get there. But I was really shocked when I learned that, because everybody always teaches, oh no, the contract's set in stone. It's going to happen this way. Yes, you've got some free will moves. But I discovered, no, it's not set in stone. Free will plays out from all directions. It will find its track back into the lessons that you were here for.
Right.
But no, some of the trauma that we go through in life wasn't in the initial contract.
Well, there's so many people that have free will at choice too. So yeah, I agree with that. But also too, your lessons that you're meant to learn in this lifetime, they will come back in some way. And a lot of times, even things that weren't necessarily written in your contract, it might just be an extra lesson that you learn in this lifetime.
And realize that this contract, this isn't, oh, I'm going to be in contact with 10 people in this lifetime and that's it. These 10, 15, 20 people, that's it. People you pass in the street that take a look and you have eye contact with is part of your contract. Somebody you help cross the street and maybe save their life from getting hit by a car otherwise was part of your contract. It may have been a lesson for them and not you. But think about how many single people you touch in one lifetime, directly or indirectly. It's an extremely intricate picture. And there's so much free will at play that it cannot be written in stone. I mean, what would be the purpose?
Well, in the past, present, and future is all happening at once, too. So
Yes.
There's a lot of flexibility there. I feel like we haven't answered anybody's questions in a while. I know we've been talking and hanging out. Dina, is there anything in particular that you want to look at?
Oh, reading?
Yeah.
I was interested in the celebrity trash.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
What is it? Oh, the celebrity trash?
Some celebrity tea.
The celebrity tard.
Hey, I'm a flirt. I know nothing about them, so.
Neither do I. So it's great.
If anybody has a celebrity or pop culture question in the chat, or there's something that any of us are thinking, let's get back to some reading. I know we've been on for a little while, but
Hey, Michelle.
I would just say, Joyce, though, that I don't feel like most of our readers are trying to be negative. There's just a lot of people that, that want their certain justice, and we all have some different biases. But I do think if there's spiritual teachings and stuff like that, there are a lot of readers that just stick with that out there. That don't do the politics. I think when you add the politics is when you get a lot of that negative energy that you're referring to.
Yeah. All I ask is just don't sit around and throw all that negative energy and negative thoughts out there, because energy is energy, and the universe doesn't see energy as yes, no energy. So the more energy you put out there thinking all that bad negative stuff about Trump, you're just giving him energy.
Yeah, you're giving him power because you're keeping him relevant.
Giving him power. It's giving him strength. It's just like, if you think of it this way, if the media would just quit giving him 5 minutes spots on the news and quit talking about him altogether, you know what? Nobody care anymore.
But it's scandalous, and that's what people like.
And they're feeding on that negative scandal to make money.
That's what it is. It's all about money.
It's all about money. So, the more negative thoughts you put out there, I always keep trying to tell my viewers, trust that part of Garland's life plan was to do the prosecution for this stuff. Trust that he is following a life plan, that he's going to do what is right and meant for the destiny of these people, and allow that to unfold. Send him the energy when it needs all the strength.
Somebody has an echo really bad. I'm not sure who it is.
I only have one system on, so I know it's not me, because I didn't turn my YouTube. I'm reading the chat off the.
Well, I just now heard it, which is weird, but I don't know. I didn't hear it before. Does anybody have any pop culture questions or celebrity tea? Let's get out of the politics. Or do you guys have any questions, or anybody that you'd like to read on?
Anybody personally? Ooh. If I were to do anybody personally, it would be a past celebrity, like either Joan Crawford type, or a Betty Page, or Marilyn Monroe. Probably Lucille Ball.
Marilyn Monroe doesn't like to be read. She's been tapped into so much. She really does not like to be read.
And I like the idea of maybe Lucille Ball.
Let's do Lucille Ball. I love
her. Or
her.
B. Arthur. Because I love B. Arthur.
Oh, yeah, she's good. I watch Golden Girls every night before I go to bed. That's a fact about me. Not everybody knows.
Oh, I have my Golden Girls cup right here.
Yes, I love the Golden
B.
Girls.
Arthur. I absolutely love her. I loved her in Maude. I used to watch that when I was a kid.
Never liked Maude.
I always loved how.
But I liked her when she was on that arch on All in the Family.
She was on All in the Family.
Maude was a spinoff from All in the Family.
I didn't know she was on All in the Family. I don't remember her there.
Yeah, because she stood head to toe with Carol O'Connor.
That would have been a fun debate to see.
Maude was against his way of thinking and told him.
I get it.
So if you haven't seen Maude's character on All
I'm
the
gonna have
families
to
and
Google
you
that
like
because you know
Maud,
it's
you would
funny
like
because
that.
I was watching the old Archie Bunkers on YouTube. They popped up on my YouTube about a month ago, and I watched probably about 3 hours worth. I forgot how funny that show was. And so politically incorrect nowadays. Was back then too.
Lucille Ball.
So Lucille Ball, huh? Let's see.
Intuitively, I just pick up with Lucille Ball. She's just such a light. She's got just she's very joyful energy, very lighthearted, and obviously very funny.
I hear her laughing. I hear laughter.
I'm hearing her laughter. Yeah.
Like,
she's in spirit that way. Well, you're contacting me. Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing, just the laughter.
The laughter.
She's a character. I like her.
She didn't have her. Go ahead.
I was going to say, just her, she's allowing that side of her to show more on that, I think now, because I know she was a go-getter. Because I've watched history stuff about her. I know she was a go-getter. She was a hard worker and she didn't take shit from nobody because she had to learn from an early age to grow up.
Mm-hmm.
But I just hear laughter with her now.
She said her and Desi started that studio themselves because she wanted control of what she could do as a woman in the business.
And they
broke a lot of barriers.
Right.
And they did, like being pregnant, first pregnant actress on the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And to a multi-racial marriage, too.
Multiracial marriage, yeah.
I pick up that she didn't have the easiest life, although she enjoyed life, but she definitely had a lot of hardships.
Mm-hmm.
And I think especially with her marriage. Was he a drunk?
Yes,
she said she loved Desi deeply, but they moved in different directions.
Because he had really bad drinking issues, I think.
He had drinking, and he had
some anger issues.
Cheated on her. I know he cheated on her quite a bit.
He cheated quite a bit, and he wanted equal control as she did.
I see he had a temper.
He had a temper.
He did.
I see a temper.
Aspects of that temper showed in the show. Very, very, very subdued versions of his temper. His temper would fly.
Yeah, I see that too.
And some of that getting mad on the show
was real.
Was real,
mm-hmm.
but held way back.
I don't think she liked all the negative attention that she got. I think with the press and, like with her relationship in the public eye and stuff. I think that's the one thing she didn't like. But I get that she really enjoyed, bringing joy to everybody that watched her and all of her fans. And, and that laughing. She was a comedian.
She said, I would have liked to have done more serious movies like I had done in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
But I wasn't getting offered the parts. There were so many other actresses out there. So comedies, that's how she ended up in comedy.
But she was a natural, though, at that, I think, too.
She was a natural actress, comedian. It just was natural for her.
I feel love from her. That's all I feel. I feel a lot of love and laughter. She loved her fans. She loved her fans.
She had a very happy life, very satisfied with her life.
And even all still said and done, she loves Desi still, even though she had to let him go. There was no regrets about that. I mean, there was none on either side.
They played it equitably.
Yeah. They had a lot of mutual respect for one another, even though they couldn't continue in the relationship. It does feel like it was somewhat abusive, though, on his part.
Yeah. I never would have thought that before, but I do feel like he was nasty. He got really... And I think it was his drinking and his sexual
he could get violent too.
Promiscuity that got in the way of their relationship. I figure the years that he built that company with her, what I'm feeling is like those were the best years of his life, actually working alongside her to build that company from the ground up. And I think
I hear her say, she goes, I kept moving on. He didn't.
Yeah, and I think Desi is like, I'm picking up on him a little bit of both of them. I believe like he's saying that that even though he gave up the company, he knew it was the best thing to do because it kept it afloat and it kept his name out there and it promoted her. It was wow, it was all about her. It was all about Lucy.
Yeah.
Because he loved her, even though they parted ways, he still loves Lucy.
And the funny part is he was supposed to be the star in the limelight of the show.
And she gave him that opportunity. And I
gave him the opportunity, but she so upstaged him. Not that she was trying to upstage him. It just comedically happened naturally.
It came out on her.
You like how we say the same words, like me and you are on the same wavelength, Kathy?
So well.
Do what?
What did you say, Kevin? I'm sorry.
I said, you like how we say the same words at the same time because we're on the same wavelength when we were both.
We do that all the time.
We do.
We noticed it. You know, we noticed it first when we were reading behind other readers in their chat, and we started typing the same thing, and they'd pop up at the same time. I always thought that was hilarious.
I agree with you, Karina. That is the best I Love Lucy clip is when she's in the candy plant eating all the chocolate. That is the best. And what was it when she's stomping on the grapes too? Or the chocolate factory.
Oh, I love the grapes. Yeah, when she's and you know, it's funny because if anything knows anything about Italian grape winemaking,
that was from what
the married and in fact the Spanish married women don't crush grapes, only the virgins do.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And the actress who was in those grapes with her, she was getting physically violent with her. And I remember watching a documentary on that, and Lucy pretty much had to fight her off her because she was going at it. So I don't know why that was, but
it was funny.
It was sure as hell funny.
It was
funny. My favorite thing was always ooh, and I catch myself doing that from time to time. Ooh.
She was a physical comedian. She just with her body language. That's where she excelled.
And it's funny because another favorite of mine, and I know Carol Burnett and Lucille Ball were both very good friends, was Carol Burnett.
I loved her. And watching
between, so I'm not going to read her, but you know, she is still very much alive. But
and then Vivian Vance, her co-star, that was a partnership.
Oh, and you know, she just came in and auditioned. They met on a fluke.
Actually, it was Desi. Desi wanted her on there, and I think there was some tension between that.
But because I think her talent was just a fluke that she stumbled into that company with Carol Burnett, and they just worked so well, and it was suggested that they looked like they could have been sisters at one point.
Oh, you're talking about Vicki Lawrence.
Vicki Lawrence, yeah, that's what I was thinking is Vicki Lawrence.
Yep.
And that was quite a surprise partnership.
The other partnerships that were great too were Cindy Williams and Penny Marshall. That was some great.
Run Off from Happy Days. Yeah. Now my daughter met Ron Howard when she was in college in Santa Barbara. She was working at the Subway shop down the street from this house, and him and his wife came in all the time. Subway, big Subway eater, that family. He said, nicest man you've ever met. What you see is what you get. Who you see on screen in Ron Howard is him and as a person. He is just that natural, kind, grown-up Opie.
And he was also original on what was that? Mayberry show.
Andy Griffith.
Andy Griffith, yeah.
You don't want me to whistle that song, do you?
No, please no.
My bird used to whistle that song.
So we did Lucille Ball.
Yeah, and
what's your star,
his
Kevin?
little brother, Ron Howard's little brother, played. He was the star on the dog. What is the dog? The show with the dog.
Hey, Sheila's back in the chat.
Oh, Sheila, go ahead. Ask her, Kevin. Ask her.
Sheila, do you have a grandfather named Ed?
Yes.
Or a great grandfather?
I felt it was grandfather. I don't think it was that far.
Yeah, I think it was the grandfather.
I had a ghost visitor earlier today, Sheila, and we were talking about it, and I was feeling I got the hit that I either got it from you yes. when we were doing our collab.
She said yes.
Oh, she has a question mark though. I had a ghost visitor here today, and I felt his name was Ed, and he said he would be back in. Because I was thinking it was for somebody that was viewing the live stream, and then as we were talking about it earlier, I was kind of getting hits that it was either from somebody in your chat or it was you. I'm confused.
We were picking up an older, frail man. He served in World War II. He drank, but he wasn't a drunk. He was a sober drinker. And the name was Ed.
She doesn't have an Ed. So I think it was somebody
from Ed. So maybe it's a viewer from your channel.
Anyway, I have a visitor in my house, I think, since our collab, Sheila.
He was opening and closing doors and everything this
Yes,
morning.
he startled me today by opening up my door as I was walking downstairs. And I know that I don't have any residual ghosts in this house.
Well, he was kind and opened the door for you.
I said, that's pretty good. When he went downstairs, he startled the ghost. He ran through the door and slammed the door shut. Only Kevin
slammed the door shut.
Ghosts.
I wasn't afraid of no ghosts. I told him if he's going to stay here, he needs to pay me rent. But this is my space, so I don't want him to stay here either. I wasn't picking up he was a hitchhiker, Sheila. He's definitely either from my channel or when we were reading on it earlier, I didn't know if it was maybe one of your subscribers, but yeah. Well, I haven't noticed anything else since then, so.
And he did ask him to go.
Yeah. Well, I told him if he had a message that he was more than welcome to come back if it was for somebody in the chat, but.
The only thing I remember him showing me was like a picture, like an old black and white photo of a boy. I assumed it was him, but it's possibly his son.
Well, we heard that the person he was trying to get in contact with was like a soft S sound, and then I was thinking maybe it was you, but
Sheila, Susan had a
Sandy,
Sean.
Yeah.
Sandy was the name that resonated the most, but I haven't seen any Sandys in the room, and maybe it's somebody that's going to watch this on replay and go,
yeah, that's what I was saying.
I have a grandfather named Ed. Yeah, you guys described him right. And if
sorry to throw you out.
Watch this on a replay, come back in when we're live and let us know, and maybe we can tap in more for you on it.
Well, sorry for giving you the shout out. That's not for you, Sheila. I'm not trying to call you out.
We were Dean, have you worked with Sheila?
Dean, have you worked with Sheila, Inquisitive Tira?
Yeah, I've worked with her
you?
a couple different times. I was on with her and me together. I've done a couple shows with, I believe it's been a couple shows with me, her, and Sharon.
Okay.
Sharon.
I loved working with Sheila. I feel like me and her are very similar in a lot of ways. And I really liked the energy when we were reading together. It was fun.
Yeah, Sheila has really good energy. Fun to read.
Oh, thanks, Sheila. Just let me know anytime.
Maybe we'll get Sheila on here on a Tuesday night.
Ooh.
I don't know how many questions will be getting answered, though, if we're all just sitting here talking and having fun.
I don't know. We should do another ghost story with Sheila. Those were fun.
That was fun, yeah. Me and Sheila were going to do personal readings and all that, and we ended up talking about our ghost stories.
I was thinking, you know, when I get moved to the East Coast, and, you know, Sheila comes back towards PA periodically because she has family there, we should all go to some of the battlefields or something and do it. And tape it and do, you know, this on site someplace. I know PA is very haunted. So, well, that whole East Coast is haunted. It's so ancient.
I don't know how I would feel about that. That would be weird. I don't.
Not feeling the ghost.
Like, I'm the type of person in the cemetery. Okay, let's do our shit. Let's get out.
I don't like cemeteries because I don't want hitchhikers, and I've had hitchhikers, and my daughter used to bring them. She used to shoot. She's a photographer. She used to shoot cemeteries, and she'd bring home hitchhikers, and they're really annoying. And so I have a psychic daughter that brings them home to her psychic mom. And not a good, it's so hard to get rid of them when they hitchhike in. And when they realize they're at a house with two people that are enlightened, they really bug you a lot.
Right. Well, I normally don't get hitchhikers around me. So I definitely was feeling this Ed character is definitely for somebody that's watching.
But I would be open to like going to the battlefields and things like that, where you see a lot of residual energy.
Now, me and my husband heard cannons when we stayed in Gettysburg.
I've heard a lot of people have experiences in Gettysburg.
I was talking about that on Sheila's channel. We got our car stuck in the snow and had to walk a half mile through the battlefield to get to our B&B. And yeah, we heard cannons being shot, and just felt like a million people were just staring at you. It was eerie. It was cool, but it was eerie.
Why are you walking across their battlefield for? We have a war going on.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they were shooting that late in the night.
It'd probably take me down. Every one of I have a whole slew of grandfathers that were in the Civil War and the Revolutionary War. They've got markers all over Connecticut and stuff for them.
All right. Do we want to do any more celebrity readings, or do we want to do something else, or call it a wrap? We've been on for a little over 2 hours, but I'm having fun hanging out.
What would be your celebrity you want to read on? Because
I'm quite a bit younger than you two, so a lot of your conversations that you were talking about earlier, I didn't know who you were talking about, but I know Lucille Ball.
Everybody knows Lucy.
Right.
Nickelodeon kept a lot of you guys in check.
Nickelodeon was my childhood.
And Dean too.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I love.
You know what? I've threatened that Dean will remember this. Saved by the Bell.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't get into that. My husband.
I told my daughter when her daughter turns 12, I'm going to give her the gift set of Saved by the Bell.
I had the first season somewhere.
My daughter was banned from watching that show.
Why?
Because every junior high kid in that show thinks every adult over the age of junior high is an idiot. Go watch him now as a father. Watch him as a father, not a kid. Go watch him and tell me if you want your kid treating adults like they were treating the adults in that show. You would ban your daughter from them too. She came home and she sassed and flapped at me, and I'm like, where the hell did this come from? And I walk in one day, and her and Emily, her best friend, sitting there with their nose stuck to this, and all the teachers were stupid. The kids around the junior high. The principal was an idiot. I was like, oh my God.
The acting's just so over the top and bad. I just can't. When I was in acting school, my one acting instructor, she was actually roommates with Kathy Bates, and I think
God,
there was a relationship there, which I never thought of Kathy Bates as a lesbian until I heard some of these rumors. But
really, I didn't know that.
Oh, but then when I thought about it, I was like, oh yeah, Kathy Bates is a lesbian. You can just tell, but I just didn't put two together. Not that there's anything wrong.
She's a great actress, though.
She's a great actress.
I never thought of her as a sexual person.
That's what I'm saying.
And Misery and Misery and Dolores Claiborne.
Oh, I love fried green tomatoes.
That's absolutely love fried green tomatoes.
Yes.
We got stuck at that movie. We went to see a different movie, and it was sold out. And the only thing that was open that was appropriate enough to take my daughter and her friend to was fried green tomatoes. And we had seen the previews, and my mom and I are like, oh, this is going to be a stupid movie. The best movie. I went out and bought it. I've worn it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Such a good movie.
Anyway, so when I was in acting school, my acting teacher, if somebody did a really bad job acting or they were over the top, she was like, what is this? This is some Saved by the Bell bull crap. Although she said the S word. So that's what I think about when somebody talks about Saved by the Bell. Yeah. My husband likes it though. But
I was probably pull a Kathleen Bates. Hey, you took my parking spot.
I remember that.
I'm like, yeah, no, yeah. I'm not sure my mom didn't think about doing it a few times too.
I think if I was going to channel a celebrity, it would be a singer. I think, whose energy I want to tap into is Selena's. Because it just feels so loving and lighting. Like, it just feels so lighthearted and so joyful. It kind of reminds me of Lucille Ball a little bit.
I pulled some cards about her last day here on Earth, and it was very, very positive. She started the day like it was an ordinary day, and she had her things that she wanted to do. She was very optimistic. Things were going great for her. And then, of course, that incident that happened. But yeah, Selena would be cool.
I feel like it was definitely on her life path to cross the way she did at the time too.
But she was the whole incident was totally off guard for her. She didn't see it coming. She didn't.
No.
I feel like she knew that she was going to die young. I feel like she knew that she wasn't going to be around forever. I know that. I could feel that from her.
But she wasn't.
I feel like she was very psychic too.
It did.
Mm-hmm. I feel like she was very sensitive, and she kind of saw it coming before it did, but she didn't expect it that day.
Who and how and all that was shocking to her.
I think she was naive to some extent. Very naive. She would pick up a lot of people's energy, but very, very naive.
She was still in her 20s, if I remember right.
Yes.
Yeah, she was very young.
Very naive still.
I just feel a total optimist personality, and when I picture her, I just see this big, giant, beautiful smile. I just feel all the joy. She was she really enjoyed life and all of the love that she had to share with her fans. Her fans meant everything to her.
Yeah. I just see her twirling, just dancing, twirling. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm seeing now. Okay, let's see. What's the card say? Selena.
I feel like even now, her husband that she was married with, it was such a soulmate relationship. He still talks to her and still mourns over her death.
Mm-hmm.
She would have wanted him to move on, though.
Oh, yeah. I think her husband has moved on. I think he remarried, but
I hear that he has. I don't know.
He still mourns her a lot. It was a soulmate relationship. He feels like part of himself died when she left.
We have more than one soulmate too. I don't know if people know that, but
a lot of people do.
But then we have like a doppelganger type. Well, not doppelganger. We have a twin flame that we connect with is actually the other half of it's the masculine feminine division between us as a soul that meets up periodically from lifetime to lifetime.
What are you looking up, Dean?
I was just looking up her birthday just to see what sign she fell in.
She's fire
Aries.
sign.
She's an Aries.
I'm thinking Aries. I felt fire sign. I definitely feel that feisty, passionate energy from her.
Oh, she was born on April 16th was her birthday, and that is when Aries starts.
What year?
Aries, Taurus, Cup, personality traits. I was born between April 16th through the 22nd. So it's Aries, Taurus, I guess.
What year?
She was born in 71.
I didn't know she was that old.
Well, she passed in the 90s, so I think she was like 24.
Mm-hmm. I thought 23.
25, something around that age. She just told me that she was so happy when she was in her body that she was living her dreams. So even though her life was short, she did get to fulfill everything that she wanted to in that life. And it was a very fulfilling life for her.
And that's her marriage.
Yeah, they're soulmates.
Soulmates. Her emotional partner, her lover.
And I got him here. I got the Knight of Cups. There he is.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I didn't throw any cards.
I got the Six of Wands. Her career was successful, and it is still successful.
She was a Queen of Swords. She lived in truth.
And I got the Queen of Cups, and I feel that's her love energy.
Yeah, she was very loving.
I've got the Two of Cups and the Page of Cups for her.
I get Justice card. I guess that's because of what happened to her. Yeah, Justice. This is not the last for karmic.
It was karmic for her lifetime.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You mean the karmic relationship between her and her
karmic
her killer?
Agreement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've had
I think she didn't realize it to the very end. From stuff I know, I heard other readers do on her too. And I'm feeling too right now. I don't think she realized how ugly the person was or somebody's spirit was until after it happened. And I think that's why I'm getting the Two of Swords, because she was blindsided by the fuckery that was around her with that person.
And she trusted her and did everything she could for the woman. She was very generous with her, so she didn't understand why there was so much anger.
Yeah, because I even get in the Four of Cups too, like she was blindsided still.
Yeah. It was jealousy
Ooh, this gets getting deeper.
I just got that they were two sisters in a past life.
Mm-hmm. They were sisters, but there was an extreme jealousy of the talent and the money and the fame.
Because I drew the Queen of Cups for her, but the nasty, I got the King of Swords, the King of Wands right here, and I never liked this interpretation of the King of Wands. I always feel like I don't like him. I don't know what it is about him I don't like.
Yeah, the energy's off on the card.
He reads negative on that card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that has to be the other energy. And yes, I do get the 7 of Swords right here. So
that was a stealing that she was doing.
Yeah.
But
and I feel not only did she steal from that, but she took from the universe too, because I think as she was to continue on, she would have been bigger than Beyonce type, or bigger than Madonna, or
she had a
J-Lo.
huge following.
I feel
extremely mourned in this area.
But it was part of her life purpose to go out like she did. It was, and she got even bigger after death than before. She would have been a huge pop star, Latin pop star, had she.
I think she actually got bigger because of her death than she would have on her own.
And I definitely feel like this was karmic, because I got the Wheel of Fortune and I got the Magician, so I feel like this was karmic energy that had to play out. I feel like she's at peace right now with loved ones before she's ready to reincarnate.
She will reincarnate, and she'll actually be in the music business again.
Yeah. She'll have influence in it. I just find it really interesting that her and
genre, but it will not be the same genre.
Oh, interesting. I just find it interesting that I was getting that hit that her and Yolanda, the lady that shot her, were sisters in a past life. I think that's where that deep jealousy stems from that you were picking up.
I think they were role reversaled in this life too, because my guide said yes. Yolanda was the star, the shiner in the prior life.
Interesting.
And she was having a hard time dealing with not being in the limelight.
I agree.
You're not the pretty one, and not the.
she wasn't talented like that. Yeah.
And the funny thing is, Selena just absolutely adored her and just showered her with gifts and money and paid her well and included her in everything. But I'm feeling like her emotion about it was she just wants me to be her chambermaid, you know.
But Selena definitely forgives her on the other side, and knew that there was a purpose in her leaving, and she doesn't hold any ill will. They don't on the other side.
No, it all makes sense on the other side.
Yeah,
and she understood the reasoning behind it.
Is there a celebrity that you want to channel, Kathy? I might have to Google them. I don't know.
Vivian Lee.
I might have to look at a picture to pick up 5.
Flip Wilson.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Country star?
He was a comedian.
Flip Wilson.
Look him up.
Why? I said country star?
No, he was a black man. He had an evening comedy show on when I was growing up. He was hilariously funny. And my second choice would be Jerry Lewis.
Oh,
absolutely love Jerry. Let's do Jerry Lewis.
Yeah,
Jerry Lewis.
Not
Lee Lewis, right? Jerry Lewis, the actor.
Jerry Lewis, the actor.
The comedian? Okay.
Comedian. Yeah. Dean Martin, sidekick.
Jerry Lewis.
Oh gosh, I grew up watching Jerry Lewis reruns on Saturday mornings after cartoons.
Hi, Patricia. We're not doing any personals tonight, but I will try to come on soon to do some personal readings. But thank you for jumping on. And also, George had a very nice comment. He said, very enjoyable show this evening. Thank you so much for sharing with us. It felt like a family affair and so appropriate for American Thanksgiving. I think this will probably be our last question, but before we leave, we should all say something that we're thankful for in honor of Thanksgiving. All right, Jerry Lewis.
You know
Why
who
do I
he
get the
is.
impression that there was sadness behind the laughter or a seriousness behind the laughter?
There was.
Yeah, I'm feeling that when you said that.
Yes, there was.
Like there's like that whole laughter. It was a facade. Like that wasn't who he was.
There was childhood trauma there.
Yeah. He let off the huge March of Dimes campaign for years and years and years and years. Millions. It was as big. The March of Dimes was as big as the St. Jude's with the Thomases in fundraising for children's causes for handicapped children. And he enjoyed working with Dean Martin and all the comedy, but he hated that being his only thing that defined him.
Yeah.
Comedy was natural for him.
Mm-hmm.
Everything he did comedically was so natural.
I don't know who he is, but was his humor very not necessarily immature, but was he almost like an adult child? Is that how he
Yes.
that?
Yes, okay. Very much. Oh God, you need to go online, Google Jerry Lewis, and watch a couple of his shows. They're hilarious.
He was in several movies too, so you'll be entertained.
Him and Dean Martin did a ton of movies together. And
yeah, I just feel like he was like an adult child, and I feel like he did get enjoyment from the comedy, that it did come very natural to him, but he didn't like being defined. Not so much that he was viewed as a joke, but he kind of felt like that a little bit. Like
he wanted to take it seriously. Had a few serious roles where he played a non-comedic character, that he got to be the lover and the womanizer versus
he was a character actor. Like the funny character actor.
Total comedic character actor, yeah. You really got to look him up and watch a few.
I'll have to do that.
He is this roll on the floor funny.
Yeah, I get I pulled some cards on it just to see what would come up. And I got the 7 of Cups. Like, I don't know if this is metaphorical, like lost as he's trying to be a like little bit of humor, like comedy humor, like tongue cheek. But I definitely feel like he may have felt maybe pigeonholed, like he was only expected to be one way versus dipping in other cups of his personality that he could pull from to perform.
Was there impairments maybe, or like a disability with that maybe? Like,
I don't know.
I don't know if I feel addictions. I was thinking that at first, but then I feel like it might have been.
He did drink quite a bit. Dean Martin was an outright alcoholic, and I know they drank together a lot.
Well, that's that glam, Hollywood glam back in the 50s, 60s. So yeah, it was expected to smoke heavily, to drink heavy.
Smoke and drink and,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I feel like he was here. His purpose here was to be like a teacher. Because I got the Hierophant from him for him. Like he was supposed to educate people, supposed to help people, whether it was through humor or charity work. But I get a teacher from him. And I think he found strength and virtue through the work he did, whether it wasn't necessarily like what he wanted to do, but it was what put food on the table and it kept him going. And he's not going to turn a buck away. I don't think he was that type of person. He was going to work for his money, and it didn't matter.
I just got chills when you were saying that. Yeah, he didn't love doing the comedy. He did want to be taken more seriously, but it paid the bills. It supported him and his family, and that's why he kept on doing it.
And I think it was a form of an addiction for him as well, because he knew it was an easy buck. And that's why I'm getting the devil here as well. And And I think the only reason why I'm getting the Hangman is because he felt suspended in the choices he made, and not necessarily what he would have chose for himself. But
this also is the card that made him start doing the charity work. It allowed him to do the serious side, to exercise himself as a businessman, as a fundraiser, as standing up for a cause, something above himself.
Something changed his perspective to do that.
Yeah, it allowed him. It allowed him to be seen in a different perspective.
Yeah.
And I think too,
a funny man.
Yeah, Karina.
It allowed him to be able to give. I mean, with the Four of Pentacles, it's all about taking and holding on. But I think with him, I think this is more referred to as like maybe charity work that he did, like you said, allowed him to give with an open heart, not necessarily holding back, but to give.
Yeah. See, it's where he found truth and positive. That yes card, that truth is this Ace of Wands or Ace of Swords.
Kathy, you have a boob sharing at.
Oh. If you want boobs,
trying to get you demonetized.
Yeah, good thing I'm not monetized yet. Hopefully they don't get me in trouble here.
I'm sorry, I offended my friend here. He doesn't do
I saw a big eye looking at me.
Nice that you noticed. No.
Hey,
it's really.
I'm sorry, gay men. Most gay men love boobs. I might not like the other stuff, but if you have a buzz, you know.
But you are human, right?
Yeah.
So you're saying you can appreciate a nice boob?
Yeah, I'm not saying if I haven't motorboated.
I'm a woman and I'm not gay, and I can appreciate a nice set of boobs too.
And the next card I get on the bottom is the Temperance. So I feel like this is his charitable side, giving, loving, and taking care, protecting those who are vulnerable. And that kind of looks like him in a way.
You know, it's funny because he was like, I loved Jerry Lewis. And then I watched this show where he had an affair with a woman and a child was conceived in it. And they showed the daughter, and she was waiting to get the DNA testing. She had met him over phone, and they did do DNA testing.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, she was the feminine version of her father. She looked just like him. And she was also had his comedic timing. I watched her on an interview when they had come out, and she had gotten the DNA, and it was like, how could you look at this woman and not say, yes, this is Jerry Lewis's daughter? You don't need genetic testing to show that this is his daughter, you know. And it was amazing. But yeah, he had one daughter out of Flood Rock.
I just looked at my clock over here. I can't believe it's almost 9 o'clock Eastern time already.
Wow.
I feel like it's just flown by today.
Yeah, 3 hours from now, I'm going to be telling you, Kevin, isn't it getting late? Shouldn't you?
I'm going to be sleeping in 3 hours. I have to work in the morning.
I know. I usually, when we're talking at night, I was always like, aren't you getting tired, Kevin? You know, it's midnight there.
Right. Or sometimes she's just chatting with me. I'm like, okay, Kathy, it's like 1 o'clock my time. It's time for me to go to bed.
One of us usually always notices the time.
Right.
Kevin and I talk a lot. Sometimes we get up in the morning and have coffee together.
Except for when she takes a day off of Facebook and then answers to Dean when he messages her this morning.
Oh, wow. He was butthurt about that one.
What do you mean? Yeah, I got yelled at this morning. Hey, I'm your brother. You're supposed to talk to me before you talk to Dean. I said, all I know is I got up. It was 8 o'clock, and Kevin knows I get up about the same time Kevin does. That's why we usually talk in the morning. It's just I wake up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and Kevin sleeps until 8. So we usually go out and have our cup of coffee in the morning and text. And my phone, Dean was blowing up my phone this morning. Because I had just walked out. I haven't had a cigarette or a sip of my coffee yet.
That's because, that was because I think I was contacting you because Kevin mentioned something, and I was like, he's like, I haven't heard from her yet. So that's when I chimed in to you.
Yeah, at 8 o'clock in the morning, and he hasn't heard from me is really rather funny.
Well, I hadn't heard from you all day yesterday either, Kathy.
No, we didn't talk yesterday, did we?
No, but I did message you, and you weren't on Facebook all day.
We did talk yesterday.
You did. I don't think so. You were offline off of Facebook for like over a day. Anyway, I'll just say that
I was still recovering from the trauma of my husband's pain.
You bruised my Leo ego by messaging Dean before you messaged me.
I made his mange fall out. He got mange from it. I don't know. You may have to grow a big full beard.
Yeah.
To represent your Leo.
All right. Well, we've been on. Well, me and Dean have been on for 2.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're gonna wrap this up. But if you're all watching and you're not subscribed to Hermit's Corner, or Kathy's Guided Light Tarot, please go subscribe.
Yes, do join us.
Please like, share, subscribe. I'll go over my announcements again real quick, but I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you do so, if I do get to there here soon, I am going to give away 2 free. We need to end this here soon. I can't even speak anymore. 2 free 30-minute readings, and I'll do a drawing when we get to that. And let's all say something that we're thankful for and wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I am thankful for my family and for us all being in good health and for my new house, so dream house. I'm really thankful for all of you and all the love and support that everybody in the community shares with all of us. What are you thankful for, Dean?
I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for having a job that I can provide for my family. I'm thankful for being well enough to continue living for another day to see how my daughter's going to grow up. Yeah, I'm simple.
It's hard being a single parent too.
Right. What are you thankful for, Kathy?
I am thankful, first of all, for this absolutely fantastic community, our tribe. I know everybody from Debbie and Karen's channel and throughout the different readers all over the place. I'm very thankful for your love and support through my cancer scare. I do honestly believe that all the prayers and everything that came through actually made my cancer disappear, because that last PET scan I had, it was gone.
That's wonderful.
Had the biopsies and nothing. So I am feeling so much better. Health's not perfect, but that weight lifted a huge weight off. I went 1.5 years with that. Thank you for all the loving prayers for my husband. He's been going through this back issue for 3 years now. I actually think he's going to fully recover. Thank you for the ongoing prayers while he's healing. I want to thank my guides and spirit and source for allowing me to be a conduit to share this with everybody and to send a lot of love and help and reach out to people. It's really an honor, and not only for me to do this, but then to meet all these other readers in this community. My little brother, Kevin, he's a past life brother. And Dean, I haven't dreamt about you yet, but I'm sure I'll find it.
I hope it's good.
Connected with you. I usually start dreaming about the readers I meet, of people in my life that I've had past life with, but I'm sure we're connected because our kinetic energy is very, very good. So, and I don't think this is the first time we've met. I'm pretty positive it's not. But yeah, I just wonderful to work with both of you and Sharon Lee and Lisa and Ron. My sweet baby Jay out there, Herc. I don't think he's in the room right now. Debbie and Karen, who introduced me to my guides and made me realize I was actually communicating with them all the time when I didn't realize I was. Scott opening the door and giving me my first debut. And all the readers, I used to bounce from different readers and do guest appearances for everybody before I started my own channel. Because my guides kept on telling me, no, don't start a channel. You're not ready yet. We've got other things planned for you.
Isn't that funny? I didn't feel ready, and my guides told me to start it, so I fought them for years. And yours is the total opposite, huh?
Well, my guides kept on telling me you needed to be in our group too, in a practice group, because that was part of your prepping.
That's so funny. I never even contacted my guides. I just said I'm going to do it. And I think the person that told me to do it was Maya. And she's like,
Black Cat.
Like, I remember
you
that.
have to be here.
Yeah.
Because I think you started your channel just about the same time that I started mine. Or I just started mine. I think I might have just started mine, and because I did do a collab with Maya, and I remember. I think that's how I was introduced to you.
Sharon Lee's the one that introduced you to me. She said, "Have you seen that new reader, Dean? He's pretty good. Go check him out. Go check him out." So yeah,
Sharon. It was Sharon Lee.
Sharon Lee, yeah. And I said, no, I hadn't heard him, and then I saw your name popping up in her chats.
And actually, I got hooked over. It was during like during the pandemic, and I found Nasty Women's Tarot. It came up in my YouTube feeds, and I was like, these women
Curiosity
are
kills the cat, right?
And I did. It's like, how did this get like a notification for this?
Thank you, Sharon.
So I think it was Spirit that made that happen, because when I saw their show, the chat room told me go see Ron, and I went to go see Ron, and I practiced for like. Actually, no, it was actually this year.
Were you watching
it was this past summer
when Ron and I were? Because I helped Ron launch.
It was this past summer.
Did you watch it when Ron and I were there together?
I don't know.
Or had I already stopped reading with him?
You must have stopped reading with him, because when I started watching him, it was during like April, May, June timeframe. Okay, and by July, I was already starting on my own, because I was like, and it was like April. It was April when I was really getting involved in it. Then in May, I actually bought my first set of tarot cards, and I was like, there's something to this. I was like, I'm going to try just to see what I get. And then I was on Ron's show. I was practicing on Ron's show. And then I just found Maya somehow. I found Maya. I think I met Maya through Ron. And then I was like, I liked her. And from there, she didn't even realize I was known as Carl. So
somebody kept on calling you Carl, and I said, no, his name is
Dean. Call him Carl.
Yeah, it was you. I
said,
you said, no, I think his name is also Dean. I said, I introduced him to Dean. It was easy for him to remember because my last name was Bean.
No,
see, I got called Dean a lot because
the whole reason why I went to Dean was because I wanted to keep my private account separate from the Hermit's Corner, because I didn't want people to like find out or whatever. So I was like, the only way I could do it is if I had to put a first name in the setting up the Gmail account. So I was like, oh well, got a middle name, I'll just use my middle name.
There you go.
So that's
your middle name works for you, Dean.
Yeah, a lot of people just call me Dean now, and even if they see me log on my personal account with Carl, they'll just still call me Dean. So it's like, okay.
Yeah, it's stuck. You look like a Dean to me, not a Carl.
Truth be told, the only reason why it's funny. I don't know who we were talking about, but I was on somebody's show. We were talking about like
Dale.
Do what?
My husband was raised as Dale, which is his middle name.
Mm.
And
a lot of people go by their middle name.
He switched to Roger because his boss's name was Dale, and he just stuck with it. And I went, Dale just fits your personality so much better. I can call him Dale, he'll answer to it, but then everybody else is like, who's Dale? You know. And he won't, he goes, I am, that's what my mom calls me. But his mom will call and Dale, but his brother's name was James Doug, and his brother goes by, in the family calls his brother Doug, but when he grew up, he switched to James. So it must just be I don't want to use my childhood name, I don't know, in their family. But he has a rowdy little Dale personality.
And I think it works for me too with the whole Dean thing, because everybody in my mother, my stepmother, my dad, we all had the same initials. I mean, the first we were all C. Rices, C. Rice, C. Rice. And then my mother, interestingly enough, I had the same initials as she does. And I figured that's what she wanted to name me after her, I guess. I don't know what all that deal was about, but so there was 2 CD Rices.
You girl.
So yeah. So when it came to my daughter, I was like,
your name. I think Connie Brown thought your name was Mark for some reason. Dean.
Mark.
Yeah, she called me Mark one time. I'm like, who's Mark? I was like, I don't know no Mark. I mean, I know some Marks, but
you got like 10 names, don't you?
Well,
yes, if I'm really feeling festive and being back home, I'm
borrow that. Yeah, I have my cat named Anonymous. He didn't want anybody to know his real name, so.
But when it came to my daughter's name, I
go by my middle name. My middle name is Annette. And I always ask my mom, you named me after Annette Funicello, didn't you? My mom was a big Mickey Mouse Club fan. On her deathbed, she said, yes, you were right all along. I did name you Annette after Annette Funicello.
She just didn't want to give you the satisfaction.
I hate my middle name, so people don't know it, and I'm going to keep it that way.
Is it Drew?
It is not Drew. I'm not a big fan of it, though. So
it's Matt.
It's not. And it's not anything anybody's going to guess, so.
Is it unusual? It's not a common.
It's not really unusual. I would say it's an older name. Maybe that's why I don't care for it.
Leslie.
Isaiah.
No. We're not playing this game. You're not going to get it anyway.
Dude, I'm going to meditate on this. I'm going to find out what it is.
Well, I hope that you can figure it out. All right, everyone. Well, I think it's getting to be that time, but I want to thank you, Dean and Kathy, for joining me tonight. I believe that we all do personal readings. I think we have our emails all in our on our channels. So if you were interested in a private reading, you can reach out.
Yes, we love doing the private readings. Are much more extensive, extremely more extensive than what you're going to get in a meeting, a mini reading.
And I think we all keep them affordable too. So
yeah.
But yeah, thank you all so much. And thank you too for joining me tonight. I had a really fun time. We'll have to do this again here soon. I hope that everybody has a happy Thanksgiving and gets to spend some time with friends and family, and sending you all so much love and blessings. And
you may see us before the end of the week.
Yeah, maybe.
I haven't talked to Kevin yet, but I was going to see if he wanted to do something Friday or Saturday.
If you want to do something Friday, it's going to have to be in the afternoon. But
I think the afternoons are best.
Yeah, I think Ron's doing his show too in the afternoon on Friday afternoon.
Oh, is he?
We can compete with Ron. He's like competition.
Yeah, he's beating all of us in subscribers.
Ron's competitive, so yeah, no problem competing with Ron.
But yeah, maybe we'll do some personals on Friday afternoon.
I'm good friends with Ron Dean. He's part of my original group that I worked with, that I put together as a readers group, and just a learning group, and we were all working together on our skill building. I helped him launch his channel. So yeah, he's very competitive though. He was competing with Kevin for a while, and Kevin's like, "What's going on?" I said, "Oh, he's competing with you. He's trying to beat your numbers."
That's all right.
He was watching his numbers, and he had exceeded him, and he started pushing it to get his numbers up. Yes, I don't
love fun.
But I would like, tell your friends, share it, like and share.
All right, everyone. Have a happy Thanksgiving. We will see you all here soon.
Yes.
Bye.
See you later, everybody.
Happy birthday again, Connie. Her birthday
was is it Connie's birthday?
Yesterday.
Happy birthday, Connie. I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. All right, everyone smile. We're ending.